I'm done. Oh, I'm sorry. I just died. I can't breathe. Steve, I swear to you, I haven't laughed that hard in like 10 years.
How's everybody doing now?
Oh,
Armageddon.
no.
Armageddon. It's gonna be rough.
You were born in America, you're an American.
That's fact.
Just right after high school, ended up joining the Army.
You guys seem way more chill than that intro. I'm ready to take your fucking country back. I don't even live there.
Dude, we should get a boxing match going.
Smack the shit out.
That sounded wrong. I have to highlight that one. Oh, my Lord.
Stay the hell out of the left lane if you're not passing.
You're so salty about this driver.
Finally, a law that I can get behind. If you're driving slow in the left lane, it's punishable by death.
You don't have to have a massive channel to make an impact, you know?
Steve, you smoke like a girl.
They're always there watching.
I do not sound like Jalen.
Do I drop the wheelchair jokes? He's like, just fuck him.
You know, that's what the whole freedom of speech is.
That's a good point.
Everybody gets a lick.
You don't have to agree with it, but you best defend their right to do it.
If you don't know your rights, you don't have any.
We just got a bidet.
The Constitution doesn't give you rights, you have natural rights.
Bidet will change your life.
But the Constitution protects your rights.
You'll never go back.
Little horny bastard, he ruined it for everybody.
I bet he wanted to knock him out. It's never because of their race, identity, religion, or
Teach these government nerds that all swear an oath to it what our freedoms are, because they're so lazy they don't care.
I had a fun night. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
You know, don't live on the past or take the present for granted and only think about the future.
People are wearing blinders. They don't understand.
I'm not going to apologize for that.
You were calling him an idiot.
I'm really disappointed in you.
It was something that you just didn't agree on.
I had all my money on you tonight.
I'm guilty of inciting my constitutional right.
You know, if they don't like it, then they don't have to be there. Love y'all. See y'all on the next one.
You know, you're never going to please everyone.
I don't think that God sees different races at all.
Much love to y'all. Stay prayed up, man. God is good. Love each other and be kind.
Much love, much aloha, and most importantly, God bless.
Home again.
Out of here.
Aloha. We have Heather Joy and Miriam. Am I saying it right?
Yep, Miriam.
Me. To me.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, this is my baby sister, guys.
And Dave is not here, man. Is literally not here tonight. But
Not here.
I'm sure he's listening. He's got stuff going on at home, though. So,
Hey, Dave. If you're listening. Oh, goodness. Can you guys, I've got my AC still running. Can you hear it? Do you want me to shut it off? Can you hear it, or is it? Okay, I'm going to leave it on if it's okay. It's menopause, man. Oh.
no, I don't hear it at all.
I don't either.
Okay, good. Hey, Kamama, Butterfly, good to see you. We've got Neil. Ed will be back. Let's see, Snooks is here too. And
Ed Hen, what's up? Dude, hey, wait, look at this. Ed Hen, long time no see. How have you been, brother? Wow, yeah. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Ed, for real, dude. I haven't seen you in a minute.
Cool. Yeah, I'm trying to make him a mod on my channel, but I don't think I can until, I can't get it to work. Okay, I'll have to stream from my channel, I think, and then I can make it work. But hey, Craig and Salty.
Oh, how did I miss?
Oh, and Steve-O.
Snooks, I just got your email about 30 minutes ago. I didn't get a chance to reply, but Salty Explorer, aloha. Craig, we're in trouble. Craig the Hunter's here.
Miriam, I'll have to show you I'll have to send you the link for Craig's channel and for the Tin TV channel. You got to experience Craig.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's funny. He's awesome.
Hey, look at that. I just got a notification that AKA Heather Joy is alive. Sweet. At least we know you're not shadow banned.
Good. Yeah. The whole 175 subs I have. Yeah.
181.
Oh, it's gonna. Oh, cool. Oh, yep. I gained a few. Nice. Must have been Mark over on Wages World. He gave me a shout out tonight. Nice. Anyway.
Well, we'll make that change. We'll get that over 1,000.
I hope so. I hate that channel I was working on for that year. I helped them get to 17,000. So I just need to get to work on my channel. Hopefully it'll jump up soon.
Yeah. I've been working a lot on my my follow-up video for my homeless in Hawaii video, and I lost more than half of the footage from when we went and we made me and Nina made 300 hot dogs, barbecued them. 300.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And we went to the homeless encampment and we filmed it, and it was an awesome day. And I lost more than half the footage, which is fine because we still got it was still an awesome experience and it felt great. But everything happens for a reason, right? And I've always said that, good or bad. So then we went back out again, and 2 more times actually. So now I'm almost done with the video, and it's about 20 minutes. My last video is only 10, so this one's about 20, and it just worked out perfect. So I'm hoping to have it posted by tomorrow. I'm excited for it. So it'll be good stuff. But Deal for real, John Cooper.
Oh, nice. Yeah, is Ronnie still on right now?
Yes.
I bet he is.
Yeah,
I hate it when I hate it when our stuff, conflicts, but it's hard not to sometimes,
Hey, none of us own YouTube, so, and people watch what they want to watch. And I know Ronnie's going through some hard times, so shout out to Ronnie, and I love you, Ronnie.
Yeah, we love Ronnie. Good guy. You'd like him, Miriam. He reminds me a lot of Dad.
Oh yeah.
But he's got a Texas drawl. That's awesome.
He's got that perfect voice.
He does too. He really does. Yeah, he could sweet talk anybody.
I think that's just the perfect Texas drawl, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
We'll give you a snippet.
Thank God I even got a chance to know you, bro. You touched my heart so many times with your love and that. Thank you, Mr. B.
See that voice?
Aww.
Believe me.
That's awesome.
I know. And sometimes he sings for us too.
Yeah.
He sings.
Yeah, he don't sing. Doesn't sing. He sings.
Yeah, but I think he's Dad's age too, or maybe his mom's age. I had it figured out one time, but he's awesome.
I always say he's 198, but obviously that's joking. But I do. He's the same age as my dad, and his birthday and my dad's birthday is like a week apart. So he's 77.
Really?
77. He's not really 198. Sorry, everyone. He's really not 198.
He's looking pretty damn good if he is.
Yeah.
Well, he's got cancer again for the second time, and for as awful as he feels, he looks good.
Good.
He's lost a lot of weight, but darn it. Anyway, we love you, Ronnie. I know he'll watch this later.
So I've been looking forward to today. Here. It's kind of a bummer Dave couldn't make it, but Dave's got stuff going on too with this another loss in the family. So
oh dear.
I've been looking forward to hearing both of your stories. I'm so interested and intrigued by, like, because I've never come close to, well, maybe, like about a month ago, I was sitting here. I'm in my family room, by the way, and Pablo, my dog, was over there, and he just like kind of sat up and looked up and like barked, and he doesn't do that when someone's actually standing there. And I'm like, and he's like staring at something, but there's nothing there. He's just looking in the air. Other than that, and then another story from back in like 1999, but I've never really had any real, like, to the point where I was like, oh shit, this is paranormal, or this is like something's going on.
So what happened in, what you said, 99?
Oh yeah, that's when well, see, that also in 99 is I was doing a lot of substances I probably shouldn't have been also, so I don't know if that had something to do with it, but I lived in East Dearborn, Michigan at the time, and I kind of got to explain the whole thing so people can visualize it better. But when you walk into the front door, there's like the family room, and then to the very right there's a door, but it looks like a closet door, but when you open that door, it's a stairway that goes up, and then the upstairs is just kind of like an A-frame, and that was my room, right? That's where I stayed. So you get to the top, there's like a hallway, you turn left, and then there's the door to my room. And we had just moved in with my roommate, and so I just had a mattress on the ground. I didn't have a bed frame or anything, just mattress on the ground. And I went to bed, I closed my door, I went to bed. And then like an hour later, I kind of woke up and I'm like, what? And then I'm looking down the hallway and I seen this, like, it wasn't like a ghostly figure. It wasn't transparent or anything. It was like this smaller thing, had a face, and it was like peeking over the top of the stairs around the corner. And then I'm just like, huh. And then I'm like, and I jumped up and I turned the light on and my door was closed. So I'm like, how did I see down the hallway? And I just freaked. But I mean, and I wasn't taking hallucinogens or anything like that. I don't even think I was doing any drugs that night, to be honest. I just know in those years of my life, I did a lot. But so that's the real, and I remember it now like it just happened 2 minutes ago. So
wow, that'd wake me up wide awake.
Yeah,
Harmony.
Yeah, it's the peeking around at you.
It was just
That's
you can
great.
see it. You can see it's like it was crawling up the stairs. You can see its hand.
Oh, yes.
And it was,
Ew.
what's going on, man? But the weird thing is when I turned the light on, the door was closed. So I'm like, I know I don't have supervision. I can't see through a door. So how was I seeing the hallway? And I never opened the door. I was too scared. I'm like, if there is something there, I don't want to know.
Yeah. Some days. I've been working with people, with substance abuse problems for a while now, and I have the same history, and almost, when it gets right down to it, almost everyone that I have talked to personally, almost everyone has had paranormal stuff going on at the same time. And I honestly think like demonic attachment type of stuff, I think it has a big role to play in, keeping you addicted to things. I mean, I don't know, there's just something about it.
And I agree with that. I think a lot of that probably has to do, as far as demonic stuff, tend to attach to people when they're their weakest, when they're in, in a weak state. So, I mean, it makes sense.
There's a doctor that wrote a book about near-death experiences, and I can see the book over my shelf, but I can't think of the guy's name. But he had a near-death experience too, and that's why he started collecting, all of these different stories and putting them together. But when he had his near-death experience, he left his body, and he figured out he could right away figure out he could go anywhere he wanted to just by thinking about it. Mm-hmm. He started, going around, looking around, and he went into a bar and he watched people that the more drunk they got, the more their auras got weak and their auras started to get cracks in it. And that opened themselves up to demonic influences that could attach to him that way. And that's what he saw before he came back. And I was like, oh my word.
Yeah, that's so I very well may have more here than I think. If they're attached after this weekend.
Yeah.
May have had a few cracks in my aura.
Well, I have a. Are either of you familiar with foot zoning? What that is?
What is
I know
it
what
again?
it is.
Yeah, I have a lady that I work with. I see her probably every month, and she just has kind of a second sight anyway, and she was able to help me figure out that I had a demonic attachment probably from the time I was about 7 until I broke it in 2016. But she helped me, figure out a lot of little things like that, but it was, I had it with me, and Miriam, how bad my mental health was for so long. That played a big part in it. And it just took, in 2016, I just went through this huge change. I quit taking all of the antipsychotics and crap they had me on. I didn't tell anybody. I just quit taking them. I just had a feeling to do it. And I just went through this massive change, and I started reading scriptures and just putting anything that was I considered light into my life, and it broke the attachment. And ever since, it's always around, like around the yard and stuff. I mean, you can tell sometimes, but it's not allowed in the house anymore. And I wish it would go find something else to do, but but it's nice
Get a new hobby, damn it.
No
Right?
kidding. But the thing is though, if I ever go back, if I ever slip up and I start my drug habit again, it'll be right back in my life. I can't do it. I can't slip up again. Not ever. And it's been 16 years now since I've had an
That's
issue.
awesome.
But they really do have a big part to play. And I had a lot of awful things happen when I finally broke that attachment, but I didn't realize what was going on first. And I started seeing it manifest itself around the house. That's when, that was weird. I remember I was in the kitchen one day in the last place where we lived in, the apartment in Richfield, Miriam. I called you Maddie. Whoops. But I still do that because Miriam was my baby sister, and I was 8 years old when she was born, and my mom taught me how to give her a bath and dress her and everything. So when I go through my girls' names trying to find the right one, I still do you and Sarah too. That's my other sister. I still do it. Anyway, but I remember in the kitchen one day, all of a sudden, I had the AC on and the fridge was running and the lights were on, and all of a sudden it was like the power went down to like maybe half level or something, because the lights dimmed and you could hear the AC in the fridge start to go down, but they were still on. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what is going on? And then the trash can had one of those lids that just, you can flip around, and it started flipping. And I'm like, what is going on? And so I kicked it out. I did what I'd been taught to do to get rid of them, but it went through me as it left, and it was the freakiest. It was just the most awful feeling. It went right through me. I've never felt anything that weird before, and it was kind of terrifying, but then that's when I knew there's something here is not right. And and upstairs on the bedroom wall, my husband and I have been practicing with handguns, and we have this little system that's all electronic. You can put all these targets around the room, and they'll flash and stuff. And we were just practicing with that. And my husband had put up a target thing on the wall, and it was just the form of an outline of a human, but it was dark, and it had the stuff on there where you would want to hit. It had the markings and things, but he had that up on the wall, and I didn't like it, but I just kind of ignored it until one night I woke up and Steve was at work and I was home alone and the lights were out, and I just had a really awful feeling. There was just something to me. I was, it brings out just a panic. Miriam, I'm sure what that feeling is like. It just, when there's something evil and you feel it and it's close, you feel it, and it's terrifying. And I had that feeling, and I started looking around the room, and I looked up, and that poster was on the wall. It has that silhouette, that dark silhouette, and I'm like, oh, it's just the poster. And I kept looking around, and I thought, no, it's just, I must have dreamed. I just had a dream, and I was just coming out of it. Well, then, have either of you guys had, what do they call it? What do they call it? Where you freeze up and you can't move. What is it called?
The witch is riding you. I've heard it referred to as that. But
I'm trying to think of the name that hi, Misha.
When you're sleeping, sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. That happened, and I could not move. I could only open my eyes. I could not move my body.
I've never had that.
You could feel pressure on your chest. And it is the freakiest feeling. And I was trying to scream, and nothing would come out. And I just laid there and prayed. And, I started praying, and then it lifted and went away. But, after that, I'm like, what is going on? And, I don't know. I just wasn't sure what was going on yet, but I was figuring things out. But a couple of nights later, Steve was home that night, and we were asleep, but I woke up in the middle of the night. And I had taken that, I pulled that poster down off the wall. It was freaking me out. So I took it down, and I remember waking up, and Steve was next to me, but I woke up, and there was something, you could just feel that pressure on your chest again. I couldn't move. I was trying to scream at my husband, trying to wake him up, and it was just there again. And finally I started concentrating. I started praying, but I was concentrating on moving my toes and my fingers. And finally I could break out of it a little bit, and I started trying to nudge him. He would not wake up. He would not. It was weird. It was like something was keeping him asleep, because it was freaky. But what was weird is I looked up, but I finally broke out of it. I'm still laying next to him, but I looked over on the wall where the poster had been, and I'd forgotten that I had taken it down. And I looked over there, and there was a full form, not just the poster, but the full form. And at first I didn't realize. I was just thinking, it's the poster. And then I looked again, and you could see just a black silhouette, just black. You could not see through it. It was just black, and it was in the form of a human. It was just the most horrible feeling. Oh my word. So after that, I'm like, okay, I got to do something, because what I had been taught to do just wasn't enough, Yeah. And I called my bishop, and they had some elders come over and bless the house and everything. And then, that's ever since then, it's had to stay out of the house wherever we've lived. Kicked it out, but it's still around. And like I said, if I ever give it a chance, I weaken my aura at all, it'll be right back, I'm sure.
Remember that we were talking, I think we were still backstage, but how like months ago, and then I did it short and in the background. Well, I found it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I paused it right at, because I remember when Steve was talking, or I'm sorry, Kermit was talking to us. You had went into the kitchen to get the fresh eggs to show us how many. So I know you weren't outside, because I remember it was a live stream too. I mean, this is the short, and So it's not like you went and ran around and like played a joke, because you came back with eggs and you know. But anyway, I paused it. So watch. I don't know. Oh, you can't see my mouse on there, huh?
And you guys, I tried to debunk it too, and I could not debunk it.
And I found it on accident, because when I do these shorts from the live, I mean, it takes me like 2 hours, because you watch it over and over and over. And I was halfway. I already had like an hour to it, and then I noticed it, and I was like, what was that? So watch the roses, specifically the bottom rose, right over Steve's left shoulder. Right there. Do you see how?
Yeah.
Yep. Walk by. It is black. It's opaque black.
It is. Yeah.
Right there. And see, I clipped it because I didn't notice it. I was just making the short for, I don't even remember what the short's about, but
that's
yeah, you caught it. I know. Yep. I went out because we have that D.A. McRae diesel. What is it? The trucking place right over here. Near us, and their trucks are going by constantly, and plus it's a state road, so there's stuff going by. And I tried to see if it was just stuff driving, down the road that was doing that, but that's not what it is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I was just gonna say, Ed, that's exactly what I do to kick them out. I use I use Christ's name. I do something else too that I was taught, and I'm not gonna demonstrate that right now. But that's that. Jesus Christ's name will send them running.
Well, they told me, and this does work because it's weird, but if like you're on the streets or in the hood and you're in trouble and someone wants to fight, just strip butt naked. And then the other person will be like, what the hell? And they'll take off because they think it's crazy. But it doesn't work with ghosts or demons. I tried.
You tried, huh? Darn it.
When my husband and I were first married, that was marital advice his aunt gave us. That if you ever are fighting, just strip naked, and then no one will have much to say.
I mean, how can you still stay angry?
Well, at my age, if I did that, my husband would just laugh at me. Are you serious? He'd say.
Well, see, you're not fighting anymore, are you?
Right? Yeah, because it's like, are you serious? What? And then I'd be like, what were we fighting about? I'd be like, I don't know. You're butt naked.
I don't know.
I'll have to tell Steve about that one.
Yeah, my husband's aunt, that was her big piece of marital advice to us. Thanks, Tori.
Oh, man. Steve, she has then the best husband. Well, I have the best husband, but she has the second best husband. Really, you have James. Awesome.
I thought Nina had the best husband. Darn it! I'll take the bronze.
Okay. Oh, man. Well, I didn't know that you were part of a ghost hunting team.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't know. No, I didn't know you did that.
It was right before we moved down here. So I went probably a couple years, went with them. And then when I moved down here, everyone just kind of lost touch and we haven't done much, but we went some pretty cool places. One of the guys in the group, I don't know if you've heard of Asylum 49, Steve, out in Twilla.
Oh, yeah.
It's an old the old hospital in Twilla, and some guy purchased it and turned it into this haunted house. But it's anyway, when the guys in the group had connections with the owner, and so we got to do an overnighter out there. And
what's it called again?
Asylum 49.
Asylum 49.
Yeah. And that building is so strange because there's almost just like a definite line. The north side, it's an old hospital. I think it shut down in the early 90s or something.
Well, no, because Lexi broke her arm in 99, and it was still open there. Yeah. So.
That was the other thing that was weird is the building itself. He had half of it turned into this massive haunted house, and then the other side was a care center, retirement home. Okay, but that building was
There's a cemetery right across the street too.
Yeah. No, well, that didn't help the situation.
Nope.
When we were there that night, I don't know what had happened, like landslides and stuff, and the cemetery was sinking, and they were like relocating all these. It stunk so bad, like just outside that building in general, it stunk
Really?
so bad. And I don't think it was like bodies or anything. It was just like all the
just
wet. Oh, it was so bad. That building though, there's it's like this definite line of demarcation, like the north side of that building, there's definitely something there, but it's kind of like joking around, playing with you. The south side of that building, it's funny. You walk down this hallway and it just is almost this instant wall of dark.
I was just going to say,
it's so there's something bad there.
I've been in there, like to visit people in the hospital when it was still running, when I lived out there. I know exactly what you mean, because you walk past that point and you're like, whoa, what is wrong? It's heavy.
It's very heavy.
It's, ew.
And then, so like when we were investigating that, it's hard to, where it's turned into this haunted house. And so he's got all these props up in every room. And so it's it adds to it, I'm sure. But it's like, the one guy we were with, Dave, we were sitting in this little hall of mirrors, little mirror maze. We were all just kind of sitting in this circle, doing an EVP session, just kind of taking turns asking questions and whatnot. Dave's sitting next to me and he's wearing a thick hoodie. It was cold in there. He's wearing a real thick hoodie and he's like, and then he starts like pulling his hoodie off. And we're like, what are you doing? And he turns around and tells us, look at my back. And he's got like 3 very specific like claw marks down his back. Like,
were there 3?
Mm-hmm.
It's always 3, because it's like they're mocking the Trinity or something.
Yeah, no, and that's, this is the, it's an interesting place.
Wow. Yeah, I've never been in it since they started, that asylum. I haven't been in it since then, but there's something about that place.
I know they have one too in Metro Detroit, like Wayne County, Michigan. Is Eloise, and it used to be.
Oh, I've seen that place.
Yeah, and I guess I heard, I never looked into it, I just heard and just trusted that it's true, but I heard Alice Cooper bought it. And
oh, really?
I've never been in there. I grew up, and since I was a kid, that place was the insane asylum. It was closed since I was a kid, and I heard so many crazy stories. I never had the balls to even go in, but I've heard stories, people don't come out, and I don't know what's going on with it now, but I know the channel, there's a Paranormal Activity channel, but not too long ago, like months ago, they did a
I think I sent you the link for that. It was the Paranormal Files. Did I? Because I told, is that the one
Robin. Aloha,
I don't
Robin.
know, but it was, yeah, that's a creepy place. I saw it on that kid, what is his name? Colin Brown, that does Paranormal Files, and he and his brother-in-law went in there and did a couple, I don't think, well, it did a whole night there, but ew, weird stuff going on there. That's why I sent it to you, because I knew it was near where you'd grown up. I'm like, I gotta send this to Steve.
Yeah.
But Miriam, I want to hear about the Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Oh,
She's been to some cool. That's what it is. Yeah, I want it. She's been to some cool places for ghost hunts.
Well, you like the Trans-Allegheny. I mean, it was cool to see just the history of it, and like paranormal stuff aside, that whole facility is just amazing. I mean, as far as like ghost hunts, when we went, I went with some friends, and it was a big group that basically it was a ghost hunting tour. So that kind of takes away, like, it's not as personal. It's not as, you're packed in with 20 other people that are loud and obnoxious. And, like, I guess I'm a believer, but I'm definitely a skeptical believer. Like, I'm going to try to debunk it. I'm going to try to, like, more than likely it's not paranormal. But it bugs me being in crowds of people that are always like, oh my God, that curtain's moving, but the window's open, but that's not the point. It drives me crazy. So, I mean, I feel like we didn't get the best experience out of there, but that place is cool. I mean, there's same, like the room where they performed the lobotomies. There's some horrible energy attached to that. Like it's off. There's some just
can't even
sadistic-
imagine.
Yeah,
Ugh.
just how the treatment was. And then one of the buildings was a Civil War hospital, and so that obviously had And I mean, so no like cool, firsthand experiences there. But it was cool to see. I mean, a lot of like you can feel the energies. There's obviously something there, but I just feel like too many people to really make it personal, or I don't know,
or to have some,
yeah.
I know what you mean. Like to have something happen to you and to
Yep.
I when Stephen and I have gone to West Virginia a couple of times, for Spartan. And I have always wanted to go like fly into a different state and just drive in that way, so we could. Because I just want to see the architecture. That place is amazing.
It's so cool. Like I think it's the first floor that they've completely restored to its original. So like you can see, like the nurses' quarters and the doctors' quarters, and then certain patients whose families had more money. Obviously, they had their own little apartments, and really, I mean, absolutely beautiful. But then the higher level up you went, it was like, wow, this is really sad.
Yeah, I can imagine. But, So you didn't really have anything happen to you then?
Not there. Like I say, I just feel like it was too many people. I mean. A lot of like personal, I mean, I guess just more feelings, just feeling the energy change in that, but nothing real visual or anything, but.
Yeah, probably if there were just a small group of you and you like spent the whole night there, you'd probably tap into something, but.
Well, and that's what was like so fun about our ghost hunting team that we did, like Benson Gristmill out in Stansbury. Probably one of that place was cool. This same guy Dave that got scratched, he and I had broken off from the rest of the team, and we'd gone to the actual mill itself. Like there's three stories in this old. It was an old grist mill from 1800s.
Yeah, Lexi used to play her violin out there, like on Pioneer Days or something. So I've been out there. It's cool. So,
but the actual mill itself, that building, there's 3 levels, and Dave and I went. We were on the middle level on the second floor, and we just kind of sat down, just trying to be quiet, get a feel for the place. At the end of this one walkway, we'd set up like a periscope. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a little box, and it's got like 8 cylindrical lights coming out of it that'll light up as the energy. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen that now.
Okay.
Periscopes. We had that set up like at the other end of the building where we could see like a clear view of it. And we're just sitting there chilling, not talking, just getting a feel for the place. Vividly start hearing footsteps above us on the level above us. So we kind of like, hello. Yeah. We're going, hello. And they'd stop. And then they'd go again, and we'd be like, can you come down here and talk to us? Just so audible. You could hear them coming down the stairs. The periscope was at the bottom of those stairs. That sucker lit up all 8 colors, bright as it would go, and you could see black silhouette legs step in front of it. And I just remember, Dave and I look at each other going, oh my God. We're like, we just want to talk to you. Can you come towards us? Footsteps come a little bit towards us, and then they died off. Like I think whoever it was, were kind of like, nah, I'm not doing this. But it was so totally interacting with us, and then we actually saw like those legs step in front of that periscope. It was crazy. It was like,
wow. That is. Did you get any EVPs or anything while you were there? Or
you know what? No, I can honestly say I personally have never gotten any good EVPs or.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Mine's all been personal experience. Like all my pictures, all my, videos and that I've done. I'm like, I got nothing.
Huh.
But a lot of like personal experiences. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Prairie Winds, I'd love to hear some of your stories as well. And also, real quick,
oh yeah,
for my brother Ed Hand, his comment on the well, I just thought of something. You know why that guy fell down the well? Because he couldn't see that well. I had to throw a dad joke in somewhere.
Seventh Son, did you pick that one up? Oh boy, good dad joke, yeah. Yeah, my girls got mad at me a couple months ago and said, Mom, stop the mom jokes, they suck. It's okay. I can't tell jokes. Oh well. So what was the Stanley Hotel like? Because she's been on a trip there too.
The Stanley was cool too, but again, kind of the same experience. It was just so many people there that, again, cool to see, super cool to see. When we went, we got to go into the basement, which is basically dirt walls.
Oh, wow.
They would use it. Yeah, they'd use it for moving luggage from one area to another or whatever. We sat down there. I don't know. Do you know who John Tenney is? Have you ever heard of him? He's from Michigan.
It sounds
John
familiar.
E.L. Tenney. He's basically, he used to have a podcast, Realm of the Weird. He's been, he just investigates anything paranormal, odd, UFOs, ghosts. He's so interesting. And that was probably the highlight of that trip, was he was there and getting to sit like me, him, and like two other people just chilling in that basement BSing for, and listening to his stories and his I
bet he has a lot.
Yeah, if you're ever bored, listen to his Realm of the Weird podcast. Each story is
cool. I just wrote it down. What did you have anything happen? Like you stayed there overnight, didn't you? Like you had a room and everything?
Yeah,
nothing happened or
no.
Did you feel anything in the different places you went?
But I feel like I do that a lot anyway. If that, you know what, I feel like I'm good at picking up on energies and just, not that I can interpret them very well, but So I'm in different places. You've got different energies, but I didn't have anything like, I got to tell everybody about this type thing.
Right.
I'm
but again, it's just.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, again, for me, it's. I'm such a history fan that it's just mixing anything historic with ghosts is like, that's my idea of heaven. So.
I think we both got that gene from Dad. Well, no, Aaron got it too. We all love history. Yep. So, yeah.
Well, even hey, LSP, aloha, brother.
Hey, Lord Spike Protein.
No, yeah, LSP. When we first came on, I shouted out Ronnie, and I'm going to get a hold of him tomorrow, or later tonight if he's still up. I don't know, but even though you stayed there and like you said, nothing happened to where nothing to talk about. But for me, because I'm a sissy, I'll admit it. Just knowing the place is supposed to be haunted or whatever, nothing has to happen. My brain is going to have me freaked out the whole time. Like, nothing has to happen. I'll just be like, yeah, dude, it was crazy. What happened? Nothing. But I was scared.
You were scared. You know what I was thinking the other day was, I don't know if there's any sort of app or company set up like Airbnb, but have it just people listing their haunted locations that you can go rent and stay for, like, you know, this haunted Airbnb system? If there's not one, there should be. That would be cool.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I wonder if there is.
I don't know. I think it'd be awesome, though. I'd be all for it.
Let's see. So, and you went to, what was the one in Louisiana you went to?
Oh, Myrtle's Plantation.
That's what it was. Yeah. What was that like?
That was cool. That one we did. Again, it's the same friend. She's from Atlanta. I met her at the Stanley Hotel because I'd gone on this trip by myself and didn't know anyone.
Oh, wow.
And they did like a meet and greet, open bar night, whatever. And she was sitting in there by herself. So I just went and sat by her and we started bullshitting. And that was like, we've gone on ghost hunting trips ever since. So
that was cool.
Yeah, so that was, I did go to Louisiana with her. We stayed at Myrtle's. And the room they put us in, I don't even remember which room it was. But I mean, that place was built in like, what, 1780s? I mean, it's just cool being there. Yeah. And we're laying in bed, sound asleep, both of us. And like the next morning we get up and we're talking and, did you hear anything last night? And she looks at me and she's like, yeah, I did. What did it sound like to you? And I said, to me, it sounded like a cardboard. And she finishes my sentence and says, a cardboard box being dragged across the floor. Yes, it's exactly what it sounded like. It sounded like a cardboard box with something heavy in it being dragged across those hard floors. It was the weird, like, and we both heard it. Didn't think anything of it. Just went back to sleep. But then the next morning, you know, we're like, yeah, I did hear that. Yep.
Huh.
Yeah,
did you guys go? Cool. Did you go into New Orleans? Did you go into New Orleans when you were there? Because I've heard a lot of people say that once, like when you drop down into the city, like once you get down in there, you feel like a big change. Like there's just an energy of the city that's just different. Did you experience that, or I was curious?
No, I mean, but we really honestly didn't leave the French Quarter. I think, you know, like the Myrtle's Plantation, we were there for a couple days, really cool, and then we were in New Orleans just having fun. I mean, it just, that's probably one of my favorite trips I've ever taken. New Orleans was so fun.
I've always wanted to go. I was so jealous when I heard you were going.
Gnarly.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
I just thought of something, and I don't know, I have to show it now because I'm going to have to give a little bit away of my video that I'm hopefully going to post tomorrow that has nothing to do with any of this, but I noticed this part. I just got to find it real quick, and it's with two dogs, and we were talking, you know, we fed this homeless guy, and we were talking to him, and there was a black dog and a tan dog. And I just found it. Hold on. And the black dog. Oh, I gotta share this tab instead. Well, here I'll just play it. Now, let me put it in slow motion. So watch. Oh, it's kind of blurry, huh? Oh, you can see. So watch this black dog, and his right paw, and then he reaches up and barely touches the tan dog, and then right away you can see the black dog's paw go back on the ground, but watch the tan dog. Like, this is just... So he goes up, barely touches him, right? Boom, paw's already back on the ground. This dog does a complete backflip.
What? Oh, no.
What is that? And I didn't notice this till I was editing it. I didn't notice it when it happened. So,
my word!
Weird, right?
That is crazy. See, something picks him up and pushes him over.
Barely touched him, and look at the.
That black dog didn't do that.
Yeah, there's no
I think he's just being overly dramatic. He's just looking for attention.
You think? Well, you have plenty of. You never know. You have so much experience with dogs. You would know.
No, that is odd. It's like something pushes him from the front. It's funny.
That's weird. Wow, that was a good catch too, because Yeah, I would have never noticed that unless
even he's looking
somebody
around going,
pointed it
what the hell was that?
Yeah. That's how I know. When there's a good spirit that comes in my house, I can't really feel it. But I can tell because of the direction the cats are looking. Mm-hmm. But when there's something bad, I can feel that. But there's been a couple of times that they've I've got the couple that I used to take care of that passed away. I have their cat now too, but they'll both be sitting there and they'll just all of a sudden they'll be looking over in this direction and they won't turn away, and I'm like, I dying to know who's standing there, who is it, and I always have when they're good, I'm pretty sure it's just family, but the only place that I actually can tell who they are, the good ones, is when I'm inside the temple. That's the only time I can tell who they are. I've never seen anything, but I can feel it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can feel it, but that's how I know, though, in the house is, the cats will just be looking at something, and it happens quite often. Mm-hmm. And they'll watch, whoever it'll be, walk across the room sometimes, and they'll follow along. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, to watch them. Yep. Yeah, we like I say, when we bought this house, we've been in it 7 years now. When we first bought it, the room I'm in now was actually like a den. Like all the walls were wide open, and we closed it in to turn it into a third bedroom. The house originally, it was a retired couple that had built it, like for their retirement, and that was his dream house. He and his son designed it together. He died of cancer in the house, and I know that when we started closing these walls in, I don't think he was pleased. Like, nothing mean, but it was, you would hear banging and, things kind of moving in the other room, and even once in a while, we'll still, like, I don't think he's angry anymore, but I know he's still here. Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah. Well, Gracie said he's looked out for her, kept the demonic stuff away from her.
Well, and then just the other day, Grace and I were sitting in the front room playing with the baby, and we hear, it's that old desk that I had. Do you remember that desk that Grandpa Mason made? It was in their one spare bedroom. I have that in the front room, and that drawer squeaks when you open it. And Grace and I are sitting in there just talking, and we hear that drawer squeaking like something was trying to open it. And Grace gets up and looks, and it's open just a tiny bit, like not full, but it was like, the hell, like that was probably a week ago.
Really?
So, I mean, once in a while it was still little weird things, or things get misplaced, or just
that happens a lot here, where I'll find stuff in a completely different room and I know I didn't put it there. That drives me nuts. That drives me crazy.
Have you ever had that too, where like that, what's the word I'm looking for? Where there's like a parallel universe or something where like people move and they only have one mug of something, and then they move, and then when they unpack, there's two of them, and they're like, I never owned two of these.
I only ever had one, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never had it happen, but
I those things fascinate me, because it like just the idea of different planes of existence, and sometimes they just crash together. I just think that's cool. Yeah, it's a cool concept.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast one time, and they were talking about a house that was terribly haunted, and things would fall from the ceiling. It's like, where is that coming from? Like dimes and coins and different like marbles and things would just fall from the ceiling. And I'm like, what? How?
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and I wonder. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot we just don't know right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. But you know what? The baby, when she was here, not the last time, but the time before, and I had her in that bloody Johnny jumper, and she was bouncing around. She stopped, and she was looking up at someone that I couldn't see, and she was giggling. And I wished I'd had it on video or something, just to show you. But I'm thinking Dad was there. I think he
She's
was
done
talking
it.
to her, and it was
She's done it a
cool.
couple times here too. That she'll just kind of stop and be, you know. And
Yeah,
I don't know. I think you see it a lot with newborns, but as they get older, not so
Mhm.
much. But she still once in a
Yeah.
while will be like, okay.
But it was cool because she just, she was jumping around and, giggling and I had Miss Rachel playing and she was watching and she just stopped and she was just looking up and she was trying to talk and she was laughing and it was cool.
Uh-huh.
That was cool. I don't mind those kind of visitors at all. And, there was one time, in our old ward, I was practicing the organ. So I was in the chapel of the church, and it was probably about 8 o'clock at night, and I was just practicing, and nobody was there. But in the back of the chapel, there were a bunch of chairs that were just stacked up together, metal chairs. And there was something back there. I'm at the front of the chapel, and that's clear in the back, and I could hear something making the chairs rattle. And I just kept playing, and it started to kind of spook me because every once in a while I'd hear something and I'd stop playing and I'd look over and couldn't see anything. And every time I stopped playing, the noise would stop. But it's a church. I don't think there was anything bad in there. And I honestly wonder if it was Dad, because you remember how when I would play the piano, Dad would lay there and listen to it. I don't know if you remember. You were pretty young.
I don't remember much about him, honestly.
Piano. He used to, especially when he was, when he had cancer and he was so sick, he'd lay on the couch and just listen to me play. And I honestly wonder if it was him, because I finally, every time I started playing, I'd hear the noise again, and I'd like, somebody's trying to get my attention, but it was freaking me out a little bit, so I finally called out. I stopped playing and I stood up and I said, "Hey, I don't know who it is, but I know you're there. Can you please stop making the noise? It's scaring me." And it stopped completely. That was weird. I've never had that happen in a church before,
I don't know. Aurora's church used to creep me out. I think that's why I don't go anymore.
Oh, did you ever go downstairs in that
weird basement thing?
Yeah, that was creepy. They used to have the lockers and the showers down there when they used to take church basketball. And
is that what it was?
Uh-huh.
I didn't ever go in. I figured some weird ritual went on in there. I didn't know.
No, it was like a locker room, because church ball used to be a big deal when Dad was a kid, and
I didn't know what was in there. I just knew that was.
It was creepy down there. It's an old church too. I mean, it's been there since 1906, I think, because the first one they had there burned down, and anyway, but that was kind of creepy. And then I don't know, it's an unusual church. It had, classrooms in weird places. Mm-hmm. And you remember when you'd have to go downstairs and go around and then you'd go downwards? Yeah, that place was kind of weird too.
Yep, it was.
Have you ever seen that? You said classrooms. Have you ever seen that video where the night janitor and that balloon follows them? That's creepy as hell, man.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be working there for more than 2 minutes.
Yeah, that would be a little weird. And being a nurse too, what the places that I've worked, I've had weird experiences in every place. Like the first place I ever worked when I lived up in Logan, it was a nursing home, nursing and rehab. And I don't know, I can't even remember how long I worked there, but it took a couple of months before I started to notice things. But every time I would work graveyard shift, something weird would happen. And I didn't like, the nursing station was nice and bright and had the lights, and, there were people there. But when I had to go down the hall, especially like towards the end of the halls to check on patients or do something, it was just creepy, with the lights down. And, I didn't like working graveyards so much. But there was one night that there was one of my patients was on her way out. And so I was going down there to check on her like every 15 minutes. And, there was, whenever I had a chance, I just went and sat in her room by her, because I knew she was, she was on her way out and she didn't have any family. There was nobody there, so I was just trying to sit with her. and she was afraid of something. She could see something in the room, and she kept trying to tell me and point something out, but she was having a hard time speaking and articulating. And so she kept trying to speak, but she kept pointing. She could see something that I couldn't. It was freaking her out, and I just kept trying to calm her down. And she had been Catholic, so I held her hand and I said, "Let's say a prayer," and and that kind of calmed whatever she was seeing. It calmed it down. But I couldn't stay there the whole time with her. But I had a couple of the CNAs that they were in and out of all the patients' rooms all night, doing their thing. And they were seeing something walk down the hall back and forth in front of her room. Like they saw somebody. And I said, "Well, is it male or female?" They're like, "We're not even sure." And it freaked them out so bad they didn't stick around to find out, And that was kind of creepy. But she was just a sweet, sweet lady. And I finally, she was in so much pain and she was so miserable. And I think she was just afraid to let go, And in nursing school, they had told me, if you've got a patient that's dying, and and they seem to be afraid to cross over, just tell them it's okay to let go. And I held her hand and I whispered that into her ear. I said, it's okay to let go. I said, you're just going to move into a different, I said, you're not going to end. You're going to, you're just going to go into a different place. It's going to be like the next phase of your life. And within about 10 minutes, she was gone. But after she left, the call light kept going off and nobody was in the room. And there was nobody, and there was no family to come and had to take care of all of had to call the funeral home and do all the stuff and clean out her room and everything. And I did not, it was just weird. I didn't like the feeling. It wasn't evil or bad. It was just uncomfortable in there. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just an odd feeling every time I went in there, because I was trying to gather up her belongings, because there was nobody coming to pick them up, so I had to go put them in a storage room. And it was around 3:30 in the morning, when I was able to finally gather up all her stuff. And it was just weird, because every time I'd leave the room to do something with a different patient, the call light would go off again. There's nobody in there, and it was freaking everybody out. And so I'm like, I just wanted to get everything gathered up and get out of there as quick as I could. And as I was walking down the hall, I had a cart that I'd put all her stuff on, and I was just pushing it down the hall. And I got about, I'm thinking, maybe 10 yards away from her room, and the door slammed shut. Scared the crap. I ran. I took off down the hall. It was not dignified at all, but it scared the crap out of me. And everybody at the nurse's station was like, "What?" It was freaky. And I left the cart down the hall, and I finally got, I calmed myself down. I thought, I got to finish this. So I went down the hall and got the cart, and I took it into the storage room and was trying to find a place to put the stuff. I'd let somebody else figure out what to do with it all. But I was in that room, and I flipped the light on. I pushed the cart in there, and I propped the door open because I was a little freaked out. Something shut the door on me again, and the light went out, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I would have been like, nope, not today.
So, I could. It took me a minute. I was like, I didn't even want to move. I'm just standing there going, am I gonna die? It was so freaky, because the light, something shut the light off and shut that door. And so for a minute, I couldn't do anything. I just stood there frozen. And finally, I got the courage. I started feeling around the room. I was trying to find the light switch. As soon as I got that light switch on, I was out of there. And I had the stupid call light kept going off the rest of my shift. And I was after that, I was like, I just kept canceling from the desk, the light. I did not want to go back in that room. I didn't. I was done. That was a scary night. Ugh. But in that I was in a different wing that night, but there's a different wing in that place where I had worked, and I didn't work on it very often, but apparently there was every time somebody was about to die, they would start to see a little girl. I thought that was the weirdest thing. What would a little girl spirit? But every time it was their time to go, that patient would complain about seeing a little girl at their bedside or making noise or running down the hall or something. And they'd complain, can't you quiet her down or something? It was interesting.
That's weird.
But yeah, there's something about children and hauntings that is so disturbing. And I think it is honestly because I don't think they're children. I think in those cases they are, sometimes they probably are children, but in a lot of cases I think that uncomfortable feeling comes because it's demonic and they're trying to trick you into thinking it's a child. That's what I think it is. And they're disturbing.
Yeah, it's the deceitfulness of it, or no, I agree. But I've heard other stories like that before, that someone in certain facilities or whatever, before someone dies, there's the same person that's kind of seen coming to get them or whatever. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I had a nurse that had moved to Utah that I was working with for a little while, and she had come from a facility. It was in New York, if I remember right. But she said that on the place where she had worked, the patients would hear a train go through the room. They would hear it every time someone was going to pass, and I just thought that was really interesting. That would freak you out.
Hear an extra.
That would be crazy.
Creepy and loud.
Is it Ghostbusters 2, where they're in the subway? Dan Aykroyd gets run through.
Oh yeah, I forgot he got
part.
Yeah, I read about that. What was weird too is when I worked in a nursing home in Bountiful, it was the same place Rachel worked for a little while. But I had a patient that she had a doctor's order for wine every night. She had a glass of wine before bed that helped her sleep. And the night that she passed away, I was there until I think about 10:30 at night, and then I went home. But I had gone into the room and given her wine, and she was asleep when I went in there. So I just left it by the bed. I didn't even know she was going to pass away that night. But that wine, she never touched the wine. And one of the nurse that had taken over from me, went in there later and threw the cup away. Somebody had the wine, and the patient had never, nobody touched it, and it wasn't anybody going in the room that drank it. It was interesting, because I think that, I don't know, it was really weird. She passed away and that wine was still there, but according to the nurse later on, she went in there and somebody had it, but she couldn't figure out who, but that lady had never taken it, but it was gone. I thought that was kind of weird.
What is weird?
It was just
real quick, shout out to William Grammer. Thank you, brother, for the super chat, super sticker. And real quick too, I wanted to shout out Mr. B. I know this story about that. I was listening to that live stream and I was like, holy shit. And the first thing I thought of was before that, like maybe a month or two. I remember you had something else happen. And well, here, I'll just show it because it was this.
Okay.
Hour now, I don't know who's watching me. I mean, it's clear as day that they're orbs. They're not dust particles or anything like that. And I was just recording this one song to post, and about 80 seconds in, an orb come flying up through the bottom at me. And then about 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that in, another one come right of the TV straight at me. Can actually see both of them, and they're both clear as day. So What are they? I have no idea. I didn't see it until I watched the replay. Just my opinion, I think spirits are dead relatives, old friends that have passed on or something. But I think ghosts are a more malevolent entity, maybe a little bit more on the demon side. I'm afraid to take a shower now. I don't know who's watching me. I mean, it's clear as day that they're orbs. They're not dust particles.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I wish. I know. I remember him telling the story when he was alive, but he wasn't. And I wish that could have been caught on camera, but I know there's no way. But and the thing is, the way the TV was mounted, to unmount it, you would have to lift it
up, right?
So
Yeah,
because
like take it off the. Yeah.
Right, and it just.
That's crazy. It crashed. That'd freak me out.
Story.
That's nuts.
Wow.
That's when you got to start putting security cameras inside your house.
Just to figure out what's happening.
Right.
Have either of you been touched by a spirit?
Not that I know of. I always get weird things, but then I'm like, oh, that was just that. You know, like you were, like Miriam was saying earlier, it's your mind you're skeptic, so your mind automatically tries to justify everything.
Yep. Yeah. Like, did this really happen?
This has been years ago, but I do laying in bed one night, trying to fall asleep. I'm always on my left side. It wasn't in this house. This was probably one of my scariest. Maybe something did follow me home. I don't know. Laying on my left side, just dozing off, a hand reached, my hair over my face. I don't know what that was. Jay's sound asleep next to me, and that was it. That's the only thing that happened. It didn't pull my hair. It just moved it over my face. And well.
Wow.
Yeah, that one was that was odd.
I have had that attachment, the demonic attachment that I had when I broke it, but I was still trying to figure out, and it was doing stuff in the house. I remember being downstairs a lot, and I could hear. It sounded like there was somebody up in the upstairs, the spare bedroom, moving stuff around. Just like you said about that box, it sounded like people were dragging boxes around and going through stuff, because that was just kind of our storage room, and I could hear that, and it would freak me out. It would sound like there were a couple of people upstairs. You'd go up and open the door, nothing. But I remember hearing that a lot, but that was just one of the other things that was going on when I had this thing running around the house. But there was one night. No, it was in the morning. I'd had an incidence of the what did we call it? I can't think of the term where you're frozen again. My brain isn't working tonight.
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. Why can't I think of that? I don't know. But I'd had another one of those the night before, and it had kept me awake for a long time. You just freaked out, and so I'd really slept in. It was probably about 11 in the morning, and I woke up. And I was laying flat on my back, and I just remember opening my eyes. And I looked over to the left, and that thing was standing there by the bed. I mean, it's 11 in the morning, but the windows, letting in the light and everything, but you could just see this shape, this black, opaque. You couldn't see through it at 11 in the morning, and it was standing to the left, and my legs were kind of splayed out, in a V, and I was just laying there on the bed, and I watched its hand reach out, and it went over, and it touched my foot. It squeezed my foot through the comforter, and it just squeezed my toes, and I yelled, Jesus Christ's name, and got it out, but it freaked me out. It touched me.
And what do they call those?
Shadow people.
Shadow people, or
it was
shapeshifter, or not shapeshifter. What the hell is the word I'm looking for? But yeah, basically shadow people. Yeah,
shadow person. Yeah.
And like you were saying earlier with the children, and they usually try to make them look like a playful child or whatever, but really it's a demon.
Yeah, and they'll try to get you to interact with them and make a, get a relationship going where, it's icky. Ooh, don't like it.
Man, I'm glad none of that's ever happened to me, and knock on wood, I hope it never does. That would, especially when like you're trying to scream, but you're just like, I can't move or I can't do shit. But,
I had that happen quite a bit. It hasn't happened ever since 2016, but man, that's ugh. I think that's the scariest I ever am, is when I've had the sleep paralysis. That's just because I've seen the thing's face during that time, and it's hideous and scary. Oh, yuck! That's just something I'll never forget. I wish I could, but it's good incentive to stay sober and not invite these things back. Seriously, because I don't want to deal with that again. It was funny. My counselor from rehab, I saw him, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, and I said, why did you not warn me that there was going to be a bunch of spiritual stuff going around? He just kind of laughed. He's like, well, would you have believed me, or would it have scared you? And I said, well, yeah, I would have believed you, and yeah, I would have been scared. So,
right. And it's crazy because Heather, I honestly have never thought of that until today. But and what you said, you've been clean for 16 years, and I'm 12 years. Well, I mean, not obviously I drink, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you're not using
drug free. I've been drug free for 12, but I never thought of that till you were just explaining that yeah, because I had so many demons, but I never put it together on that. I just thought because my mind was all twisted and messed up, and I was just a crazy idiot. But yeah, that's weird. I never thought of that.
Both my daughters at one time or another have had weird experiences too, but they were just only happened a couple of times, and neither of them have had anything happen ever since then. But they were just, the way they were describing things is it would, when they were having these experiences, it would change, it would do something to their senses, and so things were warping. Like it was almost like maybe they were on an like LSD or something. I've never done that, but just the description that they gave me, it sounded like they were on LSD or something, just the way they were seeing things being changed and stuff. Like I remember Maddie, my youngest, was this is after our divorce, and when they lived out in Stownsbury, and one night she was, I guess her bedroom was downstairs in the basement. She had her own room, and she heard somebody, she's in the basement, so she had a window well, and there was one of those covers over the window well so nobody falls in it, and it had a lock on it so nobody can get down in there, and that there was something down there knocking on her window. Scared the crap out of her. And the next night it was there, and the next night it was actually in her room, and but it was interesting. Before all that started happening, she was having these experiences where she'd be looking at something on her wall, and all of a sudden it would start to warp and move, and it was just made me angry. I just thought, how dare anything touch one of my girls? Yeah, Mama Bear comes out, Miriam, when we don't want anything to mess with our kids, But yeah, both of them have had some strange stuff, but it seemed like it was like just a couple times and it was done. And I'm grateful because there's something that's followed our family. Our mother will not speak about this stuff at all. She'll change the subject, or I'd had her leave the room. I tried to ask her questions when I started having the paralysis. I tried to ask her, and she did not.
Yeah, she
want to talk about it.
Like to discuss it.
But Dad told me that
do you think, real quick, you said you think it's been following your family? Do you think it's good or evil that's been following? bad?
Well, there's probably both, but what I'm thinking of, there's been something generational that has gone through our family. I've just, because of what I've learned about mom and grandpa and his dad, I think it was that line that it's come from. And you know, when mom was pregnant with me and they were living in Salina in that one apartment,
thinking of that story.
Thinking of that, yeah. I guess there was one day the drawers in the bedroom just started opening and things were flying out and things were just being thrown around the room and everything. And I can't even imagine. She was there by herself and, you know, just brand new. I mean, she was just
like that happens to me. I'm not even packing a bag. I'm just whatever I'm wearing. I'm never going back in that house again, ever.
Well, didn't she say that she ended up going into labor with you like very shortly after that? Because you were early.
I was early.
I remember her saying that. Yeah.
Well, Dad had thought that there was something trying to get her to not, you know, something to happen to the pregnancy, and so, or it was trying to harm me, is what he thought. But I don't know. But I know she's had quite a few different experiences, and it terrified her.
Yeah.
She will not speak of it.
Yeah,
you know.
I do remember her telling us that story like one time, and anytime it's been addressed since, she's like, nope.
Yeah, I've never heard her speak of anything. The only thing I've tried to talk to her about it, but you know, nope. It was always Dad that would tell me. But there was I just lost my train of thought. Dang it.
I do that like 100 times a day.
Older you get, the worse it gets too. What was it? It was something about. Oh, I remember. It was when there was one time between 4th and 5th grade. It was the summer between 4th and 5th grade, and I went to a slumber party over in Salina. It was a summer thing. You know, we were a bunch of us sleeping out on the trampoline. And we were playing around and just trying different things, being silly. And then somebody said, let's play light as a feather, stiff as a board. I didn't know what it was. And it worked. It worked well. And it was crazy that like we all got around the girl and we did the whole ritual, and we had our pinkies under and we lifted, and she rose up she hit the clothesline and fell down. I mean, she went right up. It was, and I went, you know, and I had a feeling like maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And when Mom picked me up to the next day, I told her, and she's like, don't you ever mess with stuff like that, you know. And I didn't know, but yeah, that's the only thing she's ever really said to me, is she was explaining to me, you know, the powers we were playing with, and that it was a very bad thing. It was a dangerous thing. That was really the only thing she's ever said. She will not speak of it. Like, I was trying to tell her about, you know, the sleep paralysis I kept having. You know, have you had this? What did you do? What was your experience? But she did not want to talk about it. And there was one day I was over at her house too, and the cat had jumped on my chest one night, and I was talking to you or Sarah, and I started to say it jumped on my chest, and she hadn't heard it was the cat. And you should have seen the terror in her face when she heard me say that, because she thought I was going to talk about, you know, sleep paralysis again, and it was just the cat. But the look of terror on her face was very real, man. I know she's experienced it. Just the look on her face, you know.
Yeah, she's funny about what she will and won't discuss.
Well, I mean, we just found out I just found out a couple of years ago that she played the accordion and traveled around with her cousin performing. I didn't know. And here I was, you know, I was in a group and we traveled and performed, you know, when I lived in Tooele for a long time. It's in our blood.
The accordion?
Yeah,
that's awesome. I've never
we
met
were
anyone
going
that
through
played
all
the
family
accordion.
photos. Yeah,
That is
through
so
all family
cool, 'cause-
photos, and we're like, what the hell's this?
Well, and you said, Heather, you said you play the piano and Miriam plays the violin.
No,
my daughter plays the violin.
Oh,
yeah,
your daughter. Okay.
but yeah,
That's
the Miriam
so
plays
awesome,
piano
though.
too.
I've never played an instrument, so I think that's awesome.
Well, what I didn't know too was Grandpa was the one that taught her.
Oh, really?
I knew he loved music. I knew he loved music. I didn't know he was a musician himself. And see, there was a lot of, I'm guessing, narcissistic abuse that went on. I'm guessing it happened to him, and then he did it to Mom, because that's what Mom did to us a little bit. You know, she's not that way anymore. But just knowing what I know now about what pushes people to, into being narcissists and abusing people in that manner, it is demonic. And I honestly feel there is something that's been passed down from generation to generation. Who knows how far back it went? But how strict Grandpa was, and how Grandma never, she never disagreed with him. She hardly ever spoke until after he died. I honestly think that just from hearing how his dad was, I don't know how far back it's gone, but I think it's gone from just generation to generation, and I broke it off. I think it ended up with me, and I, finally got rid of it. But that's, who knows for sure, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember. I mean, Grandpa very often. I was so young when he died.
Yeah, he was wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. Grandma and Grandpa. My mother and her parents are from Australia, so they would come and stay. I don't know, like 6 months at a time when they'd come and visit. When I was a kid, it was wonderful. It was like Christmas every time Grandma and Grandpa had come from Australia and stay. And then when I turned into a teenager, he treated me very different. And I feel bad because, the last time I saw him, we left on very bad terms because he was treating me the way he had treated Mom. Mom saw it, and I don't know if you remember, but I went over to Grandma and Grandpa Mason's and stayed until they went back to Australia. I don't think I even said goodbye to him. It was, I feel bad that, because then he died, and I feel bad, but
I
don't know. He was kind of scary. And I think that's why Mom won't talk about her childhood. We don't know much about it because she had a really tough time with him. But I think it happened to him from his dad, from what I've heard. I'm just guessing, but that's what I think. But at least I've been able to, I broke that thing off, and it's probably in the yard somewhere. It always sticks around. But, it's not allowed in the house. And if I'm out in the yard, it's not allowed near me. It just, I think there's family around us that protects us. I really do. Because even when I go running, I have felt Grandma and Grandpa Thomas at different times with me when I'm out running. It was kind of cool.
And real quick, I got to remember for Cheryl Rich, I don't remember the exact story, but you accidentally took this picture or something, or you tried to take it, but it's a little blurry, but it's a creepy ass photo.
Ooh, let's see it.
But so if
ooh,
ew,
what did she describe it, Cheryl? If you can.
Yeah, I can't remember the story, but I mean, look at this thing. It's like,
wow.
It looks like a human face almost if you like.
Well, and if you go back out a little bit, I don't know, maybe I'm just.
Like legs, like spider legs?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. It looks like legs and really long arms.
Yeah.
Like really
it's
long
like
arms.
A human head and spider, and it's just all. Nope.
Where did she take this picture?
I think I don't remember. I don't want to like mess with the story. It was.
Let's see. I'm
I'll
going through the chat here.
Yeah, wait. I came walking into my bedroom, and I was watching TV and grabbed a picture.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's crazy. Oh my word.
That is creepy.
That is weird. I listened to I listened to a video today. I was just listening to it, but it was about cryptids in Utah. That was interesting. I knew about the Bigfoot in Provo Canyon,
Oh,
did you know there's a big ornery, mean, angry thing down in Antimony, a big Bigfoot out there that just hates people and
yeah, it's the mayor of Antimony.
Oh man, but they were what? I'm trying to remember all the things. Oh, in Harriman.
Sorry, I was reading a comment.
Oh, in Harriman, I guess there's a what do they call them? The human dogs. What are they called? I can't think of not a werewolf, but like a dog man. Just a dog man.
Oh, okay.
In Harriman, did you? Well, no, you were in Eagle Mountain. You weren't in Harriman.
Yeah,
it was Lexi that lived in Harriman.
But we were in Bluffdale, which is right by Harriman. But
yeah,
we were in Bluffdale for a while. But yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I didn't know that there'd been a dog man. There's a dog man, I guess, been running around Harriman for a long time. And then there's in Logan up in Cache Valley. There's all kinds of stories about up there.
Yeah, there's weird stuff up in there, that area, for sure.
There's a guy that wrote a book about it, and I've heard him on a couple of different podcasts just talking about all the weird stuff up there. Kind of strange.
Yeah, it's so pretty up there, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was a nice place to live, but it was just really cold in the winter up there. Like Michigan in winter.
Oh yeah, I don't miss that. That's why I moved to Hawaii. But Perry Lynn says that it looks like telling me that's a crawl. I don't know what a crawler is.
Oh, I've heard about crawlers before. I've seen something like that on a video. Ugh.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I just never. I don't know what it is.
It's a Wendigo. Oh, really?
A dog man,
a Wendigo, or Skinwalker.
I prefer the term flesh pedestrian.
Ooh, I like that.
Because they say if you say Skinwalker, it's supposed to evoke. So
exactly. Yeah, you're not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah, Hunter and I always joke and call them flesh pedestrians.
I like that. That's good. Oh man, I'm trying to look over I wrote down a bunch of stuff. I hit everything. I had a bunch more written down, but I can't find the card I was writing it all down on. I had a lot of strange stuff happen, as a nurse. But the last job I had, I was taking care of do you know Kelly Jorgensen in Richfield? It was her mom and dad. I was taking care of them and just private nursing. And they both passed away now. But they would have good visitors. There was one day her dad was in their little sunroom, and it was during Christmas, and he had set up, they had like a extreme village that he had put it all out there. And we think it was his great grandpa came and sat there and talked to him and asked him about everything that he had set out, and he was just showing the spirit, all the decorations that he had put out and stuff. And then his wife would see her mother every once in a while. She would walk into the bedroom, because she spent most of her time in the bedroom. But her mom would appear in the bedroom, and she'd be holding her little purse and just waiting. And she would tell her mom, "I'm not ready yet," and her mom would leave. But there was one when she was there. There was one time she ended up having to go to the hospital, and so I just stayed at the house with her husband. I just didn't want him to be alone. But they were both getting close. They were both like 95, and there was one day I was in the kitchen and I was cooking dinner, and it was while his wife was in the hospital, and I felt something brush against me, and I turned around, and just in the corner of my eye, I could see white robes and feet walking by me. It was really cool. And I would, every once in a while, I would, out of the corner of my eye, I would catch somebody in white. It was somebody, it was somebody good that I think they were just preparing them to cross over, pretty soon. It was a really cool experience with them, because it was all really good. And, they were They were just really cool people. You would have liked to have met him, Miriam, because he was a war hero. He was shot down. He was a fighter pilot, and he was shot down in North Vietnam, and he barely made it out alive. He was running cover for the CIA as they were taking pictures of the Ho Chi Minh Trail and everything. And they were just really cool people. And that, the ghosts in their house were wonderful. It was just nothing bad at all. They were good people, and it was just, it was always just a very peaceful, welcoming feeling, even though there were spirits that were there too. It was good. It was all good. That was a great experience, especially I didn't didn't have the door slammed behind me and the lights shut out in a closet or anything. That was not cool. That was terrifying. But I remember too, when I worked at Nikkei Hospital in Ogden, sometimes I would have to go over to the telemetry unit, where they'd have people hooked up to the heart monitors, and over at the nurses station, they would have each patient, you'd be watching the rhythms of their heart, and there's usually somebody that would just sit there at the desk and just watch, make sure there wasn't any strange rhythm coming up on somebody. But it happened a couple of different times where somebody would pass away and their name would still appear on the computer screen, even though it would be taken off, and you wouldn't see the heart rhythm, but you'd see little blips and things coming up, even though they'd passed away and they were gone and they'd been taken off the computer and everything. I saw that a couple of times where I don't know, it was just kind of odd.
Huh. That's crazy.
Now, what do you think about like dreams too? Because I believe people can visit you in dreams, but
100%.
Does that make it paranormal, or does that, where does that fall under?
It's definitely spiritual.
Right.
Yeah. No, I believe that 100% though, that it's
And
just
because the one thing
I
don't remember a lot of my dreams, but when I do, I really remember them. And my sister visits me in my dreams.
That's
my
good.
Grandpa. But
my
basically
grandpa.
everyone that I know that is not alive that visit me in my dream, I know it's them. I can hear their voice, but they never have a face. But then the same dreams, my mom and dad will be in the dream, or one of my friends, but they're alive in real life.
Uh-huh.
They're alive and I can see their face, but then there's my sister and no face. There's my grandpa.
Wow.
Anyone that's passed away in my dream for some reason doesn't have a face, but I know it's them. So that's always been weird
cool
to me.
though.
Yeah.
I have this recurring dream, and it's with Grandpa Mason, my dad's dad. Miriam and I we're very close to him. And it's a big house, and it's the same house. When I have the dream, it's the same house, and I walk in the house, and it's a big house. And I've even taken in my journal, I've written out the floor plans and everything, because I've been through this house many times. But there is always a light on in the third floor, in the far right, on the right side of that house on the third floor. There's always a light on, and that's Grandpa's room. And I go there to talk to him. And it's always in my dreams. And every time I talk to him, we talk about something different. But it doesn't happen very often, but I've had him enough that, I know the house now. And so if that comes up in my dream in that house, I get excited because I know I get to talk to my grandpa. But he's the only one I've really talked to in dreams. But I've had dreams where I get Inception, where it's like a dream within a dream, and I will think it'll be something horrible would be going on, and I just want to wake up, and I'll think I'll have woken up, and then I find out I'm still in the dream. Yep. And when that happens, it has felt like there's been something demonic that's purposely keeping me stuck in my dreams. And I haven't had that happen since 2016 now, but before it, I hated that. It was terrifying because you could not find your way out of your dreams. Ugh. I hate that.
I don't think I've ever had that happen, but no, I'm good.
So do you have much going on in your house, paranormal stuff anymore? With the girls?
No, like I said, just the other day, that drawer, and once in a while you hear like footsteps down the little hallway past the laundry room, but not anything that, it just is what it is. It's like,
yeah. Okay. It doesn't scare you, does it?
No.
That's good. Good.
Nope.
Good. Yeah.
Do you remember that time that plate went flying out of the dish drain in the kitchen at Mom's house?
I wasn't there. I'd left home out, but I heard about it.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was Sarah that was there.
Weird.
Yeah.
It was you and Sarah, and weren't you making fun of somebody or something?
Yeah, it was me, Sarah, and Mom, and we were making fun of somebody.
Yeah,
we were talking, and this one plate that was in the dish drain. You talked about that TV getting lifted up and thrown. We're sitting there talking, and we all three of us saw this plate lift up out of the dish drain over the edge of the counter and just drop. All right.
Well, like somebody's warning you to quit making fun of that person or something. Isn't that what you thought?
It was like, I guess, sorry, we'll try to be nice now.
Yeah.
See, that's what's weird to me, though, because, like, to see that in a video or on YouTube or whatever, like I was saying earlier, your mind automatically tries to just like, oh, well, it's a trick or it's this or that. But if you were to see that in person and you're like, there's no trick, it's happened, you know what I mean? That would just freak me out so bad.
And if it had just been me, you can kind of like, I imagined that, but it was all three of us saw the same thing.
Yep.
Like,
you couldn't deny it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
So what would be the scariest, like the to where you tell yourself, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, and I hope that never happens again?
That I've experienced, probably the hair that I was talking about. Nope. We're good. I don't know. I think that's the only. Everything else I've gotten freaked out and stuff, obviously, but I think I'm one that I want to go back and do that again. That was cool. I mean, at the time I'm scared, but I would go back. I'm like, I want to see that again.
Oh, and speaking of that too, where would be one place that you haven't been that you would? That's like basically on your bucket list, a place that you want to visit.
Honestly, probably anywhere, England, Ireland. It just seems like they have especially Ireland with the belief in the fairies and you get into so many more levels, I feel like, and it's just the ancient history there, and that gets woven into it. I think that would be so cool to go see all that.
Yeah.
And experience that.
You get a hotel room, you're half asleep, and all of a sudden you hear, "Oh, so you little Americans want to come over here to Ireland to see the boat?"
Yeah. It's the little leprechaun you saw in your place that was peeking at you.
Have you heard of the duendes? They're in Latin culture. They're just little people, but I don't think they're good things. And I saw a video a couple of weeks ago on, I don't remember what channel it was, but I believe it was in Mexico, and there were just a bunch of people standing in it looked like kind of a park, and they were just standing around watching the kids play, and it was in the evening. It was getting dark, but all of a sudden the camera just goes over this direction because somebody over there screaming. They caught, I don't know how they could have faked it. I'm sure you can fake it, but it looked like a duende, like a little person. It looked like a little leprechaun kind of thing, and it went running, and they were chasing it. And I know that Stephen's, when Stephen was in the Philippines on his mission, there's a lot of Latin culture there and they had duendes there, and people just swore up and down that they're real, that they've seen them, that
Well, that's I know. Like in Ireland, you don't fuck with the fairies. I mean that you you don't mess with them. You don't if it's just leave them alone, give them their space because they're serious business. So, and it just intrigues me. I'm like,
what are are they brownies or what are they called? When you have a little cryptid or something that lives in your house and does helps you straighten things up if you leave them food. What are those called? I can't remember. I've heard a lot of stories about that though. That there's little I can't remember what they're called. Does anybody in chat know what I'm talking about? I've heard a lot about it.
Aloha, Lee and Luigi. No, I haven't heard. I haven't. Because it's weird. You're saying that about the little thing. I was going to bring up the menehune.
Oh, what have you got in Hawaii?
Yeah, it's I've never seen one, but I mean, it's interesting. This is just a quick, short.
My name is Kimo, but most know me as Imbenahuni. I come from the hidden valleys and lush forests of Hawaii. I'm known for my secretive nature and incredible craftsmanship. By night, my kind and I build temples, roads, and fish ponds, all while the human world sleeps. We've lived here long before the first Hawaiians arrived, shaping the land with our tiny hands and big hearts. But most will never see us. We love to play tricks on people, and we vanish within the first light of dawn, leaving behind only the wonders we created. My story is one of mystery and magic, a testament to the unseen forces that still roam these islands to this day.
So
There's the same thing in New Zealand. When my husband went there for a hunt, it was one of the Maori tribes there that took him hunting on their land. And I asked him before he left, I said, ask him about the ghost stories, the cryptids, whatever. And the same thing in New Zealand is what you just showed.
Oh, really?
That's one of the things that they talked about, and they disappear, in the morning. And that was, I remember, I'm trying to remember everything.
This guy's really good. Actually, shout out to this guy. Check his channel out, Mysteries of Hawaii.
Ooh.
Really cool dude, and good storyteller. I'm not gonna play this whole thing, but because even though I still got it on slow motion from the dog thing. But even though I've lived here for 16 years now, I still don't really know the story on it, so kind of embarrassed on that. But
and isolated, this coast along Oahu's most western shore was also home to Ka'ulunui o Pokai, a huge grove of coconut trees that once lined Pokai Bay, and extensive systems of terraces along its various streams of clear, fresh water. Now, peppered with numerous housing developments and neighborhoods, the coast still holds its quiet charm. It's also haunted by uhane and also menehune. In this episode of Hawaii's Most Haunted, we'll hear a story about menehune in Waianae.
wow. That's where I did.
Beyond the cool waters
video.
and trade winds of our idealistic paradise is the thin veil that separates our world from the place where the shadows talk back. Welcome to Hawaii's Most Haunted. Menehune are often referred to as the little people of Hawaii. However, these are not similar to Ireland's lucky leprechauns or Europe's elves and gnomes. And other than their height, they bore no resemblance to dwarves. Many believe, while the Menehune were much shorter in stature, they were proportionately the same as their taller Hawaiian counterparts. There is much debate regarding their exact origins, but it is often agreed that the Menehune lived in the forests of the mountains and only came out to the lowlands at night. They are described as only 2 to 3 feet tall and thick and hairy.
Sounds like a
Some
gremlin.
believe that the Menehune
2 to 3 feet tall, thick and hairy. I said, don't feed it after midnight.
I was going to say, don't get it wet.
stemmed from a group of wayfinders who traveled from far across the ocean and finally made Wainiha their home. They're known for their great deeds, accomplishments, and tasks such as building a heiau, an irrigation ditch, or a fish pond in a single night.
Wow.
Menehune have reportedly been witnessed on every island across Hawaii. There are several reports of people finding small, childlike footprints, creating a trail through their homes, going up the walls, and even across their ceilings. In 1964, a Hawaii newspaper stated that an 11-year-old boy in Makaha claimed to have seen a menehune. Now, when questioned by his school principal, Mr. Moore, and reporter Bob Krause, the boy said that he was watering the front lawn when he thought he heard somebody behind him. He turned, and there was a short man dressed in a cloak and a helmet. He was about as tall as the mailbox.
Well,
Mr. Krause asked the boy,
what the helmet?
I know.
He was being safe.
He was excited, which he replied, I don't know what I was. He smiled at me, sort of mischievous, and then walked away. He had big eyes like a cat. He walked real slow. When he ran around the corner of the house, I got excited. I wanted to follow him, but he disappeared. Bob Krause explained in his article that the mother showed him 2 sets of footprints in the mud under a newly planted plumeria tree, another set at the corner of the house, and 5 muddy footprints going up the wall across the picture window.
Going up the wall?
Auntie Abigail Pililao of Waianae explained that the area surrounding the home is called Waioli. It was the home of the menehune.
Dude, I don't know, because like I said, my brain will freak me out. I could just sit here right now and just start thinking stuff, and then my brain would just escalate, and I'd be like, oh shit, something happened. But, and I know like the old Poly, they say is haunted, and I've been there, but during the daytime. But I know if I went at night, I would last for 30 seconds, and I'd be like, nope, get the hell out of here, nope. Like, a branch, the wind would blow and a branch would fall, and I'd be like, nope, we're going.
God. When you were talking about your experience in '99, the little trolley guy peeking at you. For whatever reason, a puckwudgie come to mind.
Yeah.
Aren't they like from that area or something? Isn't that what? I don't know.
They are back east. They're they're what tribe? I'm trying to remember what tribe they are associated with. I can't remember anymore. But yeah, I love that name, puckwudgie.
It's just fun to say.
Cool. It is.
What if it was a menehune that came to Michigan from Hawaii to creep around and be like, hey, you're going to be moving to Hawaii in like 8.5 years.
What if it came
never gave it the chance to tell me.
Hooked up with the puckwudgie?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
reproducing.
Wampanoag folklore is what it says.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, we've almost been 2 hours. Woohoo!
Oh wow, yes. And I want to shout out Prairie Winds. I always say this
in stories.
I haven't said it yet, but aloha and welcome. It's always great to have new people here. And Leanne Luigi stopping by from Ronnie's to say hi. Connie Carlo, always good to see you, Connie Carlo.
Oh, Connie, hey! I haven't seen Connie around for a while. And William, your stuff online is absolute fire. Good stuff. He gets his point across very well. Anyway.
And I keep
Are those the baby's coats on the back of your door there?
Sorry.
They hurt. Yeah. I'm like, I don't think that door's that far away. They've got to be the babies.
No. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we love being grandmas. That's fun.
Yes, it is.
Oh, hey, Ronnie.
Oh, Ronnie, what I was about to say, what's up, Ronnie? I keep forgetting to do this though.
I'm gonna go back and watch your show when we're done here, Ronnie.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get a hold of you tomorrow morning, Ronnie, because I only got to watch like 20 minutes of your show, but also I'm gonna post for everyone in my chat. That is the link for Heather's channel. So definitely make sure to go subscribe.
Thank you. I'm gonna be doing a video this weekend. I'm not sure on what yet, but I'll be putting up one of my regulars. So I haven't been doing that for a while, but thanks, Steve. I appreciate that.
I'm excited for mine. I'm hoping to have it done. I'm hoping to post it by tomorrow, but I mean, like, I'm so close to being done. But this one's a 20-minute video. My last one was 10-minute video. This one's 20-minute. And I don't know. I'm like a perfectionist. So
I was just gonna say your videos are so well done. You spent you are so detail oriented with your stuff. It's awesome.
Put it this way, every video I've posted, I have watched it probably 500 plus times. Because anytime I edit a little change, I have to watch the whole thing over. And then even when I post it and then watch it, I'll notice something and be like, oh man, how did I miss? But nobody else notices it except me.
Yep.
So,
you should be an editor on somebody's, ghost hunting channel or something, because you pick up all the little things that nobody else would notice. Like, I would have never picked up, what you saw on my front door. I never would have picked it up. Wouldn't even paid attention to it. But yeah. Well, anything else you want to tell us about, Miriam? I know you went on a ghost hunt. Wasn't it in Lisa's kitchen? What was that like? It sounded kind of dark.
Leslie's Family Tree. Is that what? Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's that restaurant in Santa Quinn. That one was, again, a lot of, I guess we went there twice. And the first time it was just a lot of like heavy energy, like something in there. Mm-hmm. One of the members of our team, she is, I don't want to say psychic because it just sounds dumb, but she is, and she's really good. And we were kind of just sitting doing another EVP session, whatever. And she said that the people that are there, there's just one evil spirit there controlling them, keeping them there, not letting them. And I, as kind of a rule, we're like, we try not to get confrontational, not to provoke, we weren't getting anything. And as Misty was saying, she's like, they're afraid to talk. They're afraid they can't, it won't let them. And I don't remember what exactly I said, but I looked at Brad, who was kind of the leader of the team. I was like, can I provoke? And he's like, go ahead. And I don't remember what I said, but I don't remember what I said, but I called it out on something, and it was kind of weird because we were all sitting around this table in this restaurant, and every one of us at the same moment were like, oh, like we just felt this dark, heavy, just for us to all feel it at the same instant. It was like,
wow, you can't deny it.
Yeah. And then the next time we were there was kind of a separate eating area off in the back, and it's like, I don't know, 3 a.m, and we're all kind of thinking, we're not getting much, we're ready to wrap it up, let's go. And then all of a sudden we started hearing movement in this back area. Lane was with me on this one. Lane
really?
saw this. Yeah, my son got to see this.
I didn't know he did that with you. That's cool.
He went a couple times, yeah. Anyway, we're hearing things move in that back room, and then you could see shadows moving around back there, like between the booths and stuff. It was pretty cool. Wow. And then Misty, my friend Misty, had brought one of her friends that turned out to be a nightmare, and yeah, well, maybe because we're all finally getting something, we're hearing things, we're watching these shadows move, And she's laying in one of the booths, and she sits up. She's like, "Oh my God, can we go home now?"
Oh no!
And so then, of course, everything stops. It's like,
oh
seriously?
no! Oh no!
Who brought the loser?
Oh dear! Wow, that would have been real. Did you get any of that on video? The things moving or anything?
Because like I said, we'd all kind of packed everything up. We're just kind of chilling. Like, should we go? Should we stay? I mean, no one had anything out anymore. It was like, just kind of all watching it. Like, look at that! Oh my God! So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I had no idea you had gone and done that. Like, I just thought you had, the restaurant thing. I must have heard you speak about it before. Maybe it was Lane, but I just was thinking that you guys just came across it when you were eating there or something. I didn't know that you actually went hunting. Besides, I mean, I knew the places you've gone to, but yeah, you know what I mean. I didn't realize you were part of a group. That's
yeah. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Leanne, Luigi, what part of Michigan? But go ahead. I just wanted to ask that first. So once you said, "Can we go now?" or that's when it just like, oop.
Yeah, everything just kind of stopped, and it was just, why?
Yeah, that'd frustrate you. Ugh, good grief.
Yeah,
you finally got something going on, and
Yeah, well, because we'd been there, but like I said, that was the second time we'd been there. Nothing had happened all night. It had been so dead. It was 3 a.m. I mean, we're like, okay. Then all that started picking up. Like, okay, we'll hang out for a bit.
Well, oh boy.
Yeah, Howell, Michigan. Wow, okay. I used to, when I lived in Dearborn Heights, I think at the time, I was dating a girl in Howell, and I used to go over there every day after work. And now that I think about it, I just remember from like her friends and her brother, everyone had like a weird ghost story. Like, I think all of Howell, Michigan is haunted, to be honest.
Well, I'm kind of convinced that places where people have lived for centuries, there's so much history and so much going on, you can't help but run into hauntings. But I think there's a lot more on the East Coast versus that where we live, here in Utah, just because there isn't as much history. I mean, we're much younger state than the colonies and things, and all the wars that went on, and
that's honestly why I, like you asked, my dream place to visit as far as that goes would be Ireland, England, probably anywhere in Europe, but they just tend to have more, I don't know.
Yeah, there's more history. There's more, especially where there's been battles and things. That's where I want to go to Scotland for the same reason. Just all of the battles and all the stuff that's gone on there. You can't help but run into some energy.
Like I was saying about the old Poly, they say that's why that's so haunted here, because back before the white man stole Hawaii, when Hawaii used to fight with each other, like between the islands, like Oahu and the Big Island.
Tahiti is horribly haunted because of the stuff they would do to their prisoners and stuff.
Right, yeah. And that's what they say about the old Poly, is that was the spot where when other islands tried to invade, it's like this huge drop off, and there's like all the.
Oh wow!
I suck at telling stories, but it's very interesting. Definitely research that topic, but they say when you go there at nighttime, you can hear warriors and you can hear footprints, and if you're there for the wrong reasons, it's not a good idea. Like, bad things could happen, but
yeah, there's
Ronnie's got some crazy
Ronnie's had
Ronnie, come on up. You know how to get up here, Ronnie. Come on up, man. Tell your story real quick.
I'll be right back, guys. Excuse me a second.
Okay, bathroom break. But yeah, Ronnie, if you're up to it, man, come up real quick. We're getting ready to end soon, but Ronnie's got a crazy story. So
I want to hear it.
I know. Now we're waiting on you, Ronnie. You know how to get up here. I'm 1,000% positive. We need you because Miriam hasn't heard your story yet. Aloha, Seasider. Good to see you. Stayed at a house that was owned by two guys who collected and brought back from African small villages artifacts, headdresses, war masks, etc. The room I stayed in had a demon with a 8-foot. Holy shit!
Yeah.
8
Wow.
foot. There we go. There's Mr. Oh, I gotta. Wait, what happened? What happened to everybody else?
I don't know.
Just you and Ronnie.
What did I do? There we go. There we go.
Hello, Miriam. Are you Heather's sister?
I am. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Y'all look a lot alike, so it kind of makes sense. But if Steve hadn't told me last week that y'all were going to be on, I probably wouldn't know.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hello, Heather. How you doing, girl?
I'm well. How are you? It's good to see you.
Good to see you. I wish I could say I'm well, but it'd be a lie, so I ain't going to say that.
Yeah. Have you figured out what's going on with your left hand and your left arm and everything?
Oh, yeah, that's what my show was about tonight. And, I was explaining to everybody what was going on.
Okay, well, I'm going to watch it, so, yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, me too.
Y'all got a few minutes? I don't mind telling you about it. I mean,
okay.
I wound up going to the emergency room to another hospital that's totally separate from the ones I use and doctors I use Monday night. And what they went ahead and done a CT scan on my head. But when the doctor first came in and seen me, he said I'd had a stroke. But after they'd done a CT scan, he admitted he was wrong. But it turned out it was worse than a stroke. It was cancer had moved to my head. I've got a tumor.
That's what I was worried about, Ronnie.
Yeah, that's what paralyzed my left arm and hand. So
I'm sorry.
And I'm telling a quick story here, so because I know y'all ain't gonna be on much longer. But so I went to my oncologist yesterday, and he was a total asshole. I mean, just putting it bluntly, that's what he was to me. The way he came across.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's bordered on rude. Anyway, he just told me I could either do all the things he wanted to do, which one of them included surgery, to remove, disappear. But he said I probably wouldn't survive the surgery. So what? Why tell me I want to do surgery unless he just wants to get it right? But it's either that or go on hospice, one or the other. I don't feel like I have to do either one of them right yet.
You can do exactly what you want to. He's probably just being pissy because you won't do the chemo and radiation and everything again, Yeah,
that's what it was. He's mad because I won't do exactly what he tells me to do, Well, I got him a brain of my own, and I wanted to go my own way, and it turned out that what I was trying didn't work, but what he wanted to do probably wouldn't have worked either.
Exactly. And you know how miserable it is, too. You've done it before. You don't want to do it again.
Well, and the thing of it is, wanting to do radiation and chemotherapy is just not for me, particularly the chemo.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do that. I don't like being sick all the damn time.
And I watched my dad go through it, and, it's just not.
I've seen a few people go through it. It's no fun at all.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you're literally cooking yourself.
Yeah, inside first. Exactly. And so I don't know what I want to do yet. I hadn't made up my mind yet, but I know which way I'm leaning strongly to. If I go either one of those ways, well, it would more than likely be the hospice way.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't going to be right now. I mean, I don't want to be stoned out of my mind, from now to the day I die.
Yeah.
When that time comes, if it comes, well, then that's what'll happen. But not right now.
Yeah. You stand your ground and you do what you want. This is your life, and
And you got to remember, can't nobody hold Ronnie down.
Exactly. Ronnie Cash ain't going nowhere. Ronnie Cash gets ready to go. He tried to force me to go to the emergency room last night, and I told him, I said, he wanted to go there and have an MRI done. I said, I'm not going to the emergency room. I had to have my brother to drive me from here all the way down to his office, which is about 40 miles away. Well, my brother is 70 years old himself, and he was ready. He didn't want to. He didn't gripe or anything about taking me, but I knew he was ready to go home. And I told him, I said, look, my brother, he's 70 years old, and I know he's ready to go home after we leave here. I said, that's what I'm going to do. We're going home. And he said, no, you need to go to the emergency room. Blah, blah. I said, I don't care what I need to do. I'm going home. I said, I may come back tomorrow and have it done, or the next day, but I'm not going to do it. He just kept on, trying to force me to go. I thought, what's the big deal about me going today? He said, well, you might not, something bad might happen tonight. I said, yeah, something bad could happen last night, the night before, last month. What is the point? If I'm going to die, that test ain't going to change it none.
Exactly.
Tell them how bad it is, But I
already know what it is. You know what it is, Ronnie? Guys like you and me, we're just stubborn, man. Because remember when I had the issues with my feet and all that, and you seen pictures of how bad that was? I didn't go to the emergency room for like 2 weeks because I was like, even though it's only 2 blocks away, I was like, I gotta try to put my shoes on and fuck it.
You gotta walk in, I gotta walk the car.
It's such a pain in the ass. It's like I'll just sit here and drink some beer and watch some YouTube videos. I'm good. I'll go next week.
Hell yeah. Well, that's exactly why I look at it, Steve. You're right. We're a lot alike. You know what? He wanted me to call my daughter so he could talk to her. And so he did. And he was telling her, how stubborn and hard-headed and independent and everything I was. And she said, yeah, I know he's that way. She ought to, y'all raised her. She ought to know it. But I just didn't appreciate the way he talked to my daughter, or me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he said anything that was wrong. It's just the way he said it, It was totally like,
There's no need for rudeness and for
absolutely.
That's ridiculous. You have a right to do what you want, and you can refuse whatever you want.
That's right. But
your daughter's a nurse too, isn't she?
No, this
one. Not that one.
No, I got 2 granddaughters. I got 2 granddaughters that are registered nurses, but.
Oh, okay.
But
the thing is, too, it's like, hey, man, just because you're a doctor and you know more about medical shit than me, I don't go to people and be like, hey, look, I know a lot more about plumbing than you, so you just do what I say.
Yeah. Let's run this 9-inch pipe when a 1/2-inch pipe would do.
Right.
Basically, but that dude, I knew that he was pissed off at me because I wouldn't follow his instructions, to the T, and I'd missed a few appointments here and there. Well, that's just, he knows. Like, I talked to a palliative care doctor later on today, and she had all of his notes, and she said he knows because her and him, have talked to each other in the past about not only me, but they talk about all their patients. And she said he knows exactly what you're like. He knows you're independent and everything. And she said he'll be okay. And I thought I didn't say anything to her, but I thought I don't really give a damn if he is or not.
Exactly.
After yesterday, I don't care. I'm not wishing him any bad luck, but at the same time, I'm not concerned about it. But I don't know, man. It's just been a messed up week. Very messed up.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But I got to say,
you're in my prayers. I'm keeping you on that prayer roll. You know.
God, I hope so. I hope so. That's what I was asking everybody tonight. Please, keep. And they were praying, during the show. I tell you what, I think I got some of the best subs in the world. They truly care.
Because we've got the best host in the world here, so.
Right.
Wonderful host. Yeah, Steve's definitely the wonderful host. He's world famous.
Yeah, well, you'd say I'm world famous, but people only show up for you. So.
They show up.
It's really good to see you, Ronnie. It's just really good to see you.
Thank you. You want me to tell you about my ghost story?
Oh, yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Great story. He knows it, but you probably do too, Heather. I don't know.
I've heard a few things, but I don't know if I've heard this or not. We'll see.
All right. Well, my wife died, and I think it was cancer, but they never did really tell me. But anyway, when she died, we had her cremated. That's what she wanted to do, is be cremated. Mm-hmm. And, after that, I kept her ashes for a good long while, because at the time my daughter asked me to keep it so they could get some of the ashes, and carry a little locket around their neck. Mm-hmm. That was their plan. They never did that, but they were planning to. Anyway, so I put her ashes up, and just forgot about them. I mean, they behind clothes and everything else, stuff got stacked on top of them. And after, I don't know how long it was, 6 months, maybe a year, I started hearing tap, 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 tap. I didn't know what the heck it was, and it sounded like it was in the living room in an aluminum can, somebody tapping on an aluminum can. Mm-hmm. So I got up and went and looked. I knew there shouldn't be any aluminum cans in the living room, in the house anymore. I mean, I didn't drink aluminum can drinks. Well, there wasn't any aluminum cans in there. And as soon as I'd go back to bed, it'd start again. Tap, 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 tap. Well, this went on, I don't know how many nights, a bunch of nights. And this is a kind of a quick version of it, of what happened. But I was laying in bed one night. And here's the thing, I was always alone when this stuff happened. Every time I was at home alone. It wouldn't happen. Somebody else was there. For whatever reason, I don't know what it was. Huh. But I was laying in bed one night, I just rolled over, got comfortable, go to sleep, and this big old deep growl comes right out of the corner of my bedroom.
Oh!
Deep growl. I ain't kidding you. And so I grabbed my flashlight, turned it on. I knew there couldn't be anything there. I mean, the corner where it came from wasn't a foot away from me. And so I shined the light there, and sure enough, there wasn't nothing there. So I turned the flashlight off and, got comfortable again, and again. So I grabbed my flashlight, turned it back on again. Nothing there. I said, well, whoever the hell you are, growl, I'm going to sleep. And that's what I did.
See, we're stubborn. Okay.
Tired. Not ready to go. In my bedroom, I'd be out of there. I'd be out of the house. I'd be down the street.
It never did scare me. That's what's odd about it. I never got scared in any of this. I mean, I had shadows walking in and out of my bedroom door, and I to me, it was my wife, because at the end, after I seen the shadows walking in and out of my bedroom door, and a big old shadow came across my ceiling one night that shouldn't have been there. I mean, I looked at my ceiling every night. It never had been there before. Mm-hmm. And I got up and looked out the window, see where that shadow was coming from. Well, there wasn't any place there for it to come from. I mean, this looked like a man with a big Abraham Lincoln type hat on his head. And it covered
man. Uh-oh.
Yeah. That's what it looked like. And there was nothing out there that cast that kind of shadow. I mean, my house and the next guy's house were about 8 feet apart. There was nothing out there that cast that shadow. And it wasn't coming through the window. I mean, I could tell that, after I looked a few seconds. I don't know where it was coming from. But I said, well, I'm going to sleep. That's what I did. Then I heard a guy whistling in my ear one night, just a big old loud whistle, like it scared me out of my skin. I mean, I wasn't expecting that big loud whistle. But what what led me to the conclusion of it was these taps. They kept going on all through this. And so one night I was listening real close to these taps. I was trying to figure out what the hell they were. And so the next morning when I got up, I was going around tapping on glass in my living room, to see what it sounded like. Well, I had bought my wife some oil lamps, and they were sitting on the TV stand, and right behind those oil lamps was her picture. And when I tapped on that oil lamp globe, it sounded just like the taps I'd been hearing, coming from that globe. Tap, tap, tap. And so I remembered right then, her ashes are here. So I went and dug her ashes out. I took them out right then, said a prayer and scattered them around the yard of our home. And then I got me some olive oil, not holy water, olive oil. And I went back and blessed my house. Haven't had any problems since.
Awesome.
None. I mean,
wow.
This went on about a year.
Wow.
Took me to figure it out.
Stacy's right here. I did put some of them in the ocean about a month ago, but I never knew that part, Ronnie. I never knew that part. That once you spread them in the yard, nothing ever happened again.
Well, I spread their ashes in the yard, and then I blessed my house.
Then you blessed that, yeah.
I mean, every window, every door, everything I could think of. I said a prayer and put a cross on that window or that door, whatever, and then it ain't happened again. Is it whether that's what done it or not, or it maybe was just the spreading of the ashes? I don't know. But I put them both together, and that's how I do it in my head and my heart. So I think the two of them together is what stopped it. I don't think just one stopped it. But
I know that's what I would have suggested too. That's what I was thinking. It was probably both things,
Yeah, and if you keep somebody's ashes,
you're hearing the growling and then seeing the shadows. Oh, growling and shadows, man, that would just. Ugh.
Yeah. If I was telling a story myself, I would swear up and down that I'd been scared to death. But it never scared me. I guess it's because whether it was or not, I thought it was my wife. So I knew the shadows wasn't her. But tapping.
The tapping, yeah.
I thought that was her. And I still do. I may be wrong, but
it was.
All I know is, when I spread those ashes and blessed the house, it stopped. Whatever was causing it, I don't know, man. But for sure I don't know. But in my heart, I know. And I think the person, hey fool, pour out my ashes. I can't go anywhere because you got me in that darn box in there. Pour them out, I'm ready to be free. And once I did that, she was gone.
Me in solitaire, man. What the hell?
Yeah. And that's with you, Steve, when you're keeping your sister's ashes there. To me, when you keep, it don't make any difference how much of them you keep. It could be the whole thing or just that little thing like you've got. But you still got part of them there. And if she wants to, if how this works on the other side, I don't know. But it seems to me like you keep, because our DNA is in our teeth, it's in everything. And when you keep part of it, well, you're keeping them. It's like keeping them in jail. And so
right, and I did. That's weird. That just clicked. Wow, because like I said, about a month ago, I did take not half of it, but maybe a quarter of it. And when we went to Ko'olina, we went out on the ocean on the rocks. And I, threw her ashes in the ocean, and man, it felt good.
Yeah,
I had this weird feeling when I did it, but I still have the rest, So, but then after that, I had a dream, and most of my dreams, my sister's there, but this dream was weird because I never really grieved either on my sister. even right now as we're talking, it never seemed real. It just seems like, well, she's in Michigan, I'm in Hawaii, we're just far apart, you know. And even when I went back afterwards, I thought it would connect and I would grieve, but it still doesn't seem real. But then in my dream, after I threw the ashes in the ocean, I had this dream and someone told me that, like, no, she's gone, she's not coming back. And I broke down crying in my dream, and I woke up crying, and then that was it. But I had that dream right after, so it is weird. It's just like,
well, you know, you may enjoy, you know, having your sister around, and that you probably do this when you still got the ashes. But all I'm saying is, you know, it's kind of like setting a bird free. You know, once you get rid of all those ashes, if you ever do, and I'm not telling you, I'm just saying this is the way I look at it. But when you get all of them, it's like setting that bird free, you know. And then if she wants to stay there, she still can, you know. But this is you telling her you're free to go.
She can go. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right.
You know, you're free to stay too, you know. But if you want to go, there you are. But if you keep just a little bit of them, you might as well keep them all. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Right. Well, wait, we got to call out Cheryl real quick because Ronnie cannot sing. Ronnie can sing.
He sang. Yeah.
Yeah, singing. There ain't no singing to it.
Well, I got a quick question for my sister. She's probably wanting to go to bed. You probably got work in the morning, don't you?
About the time change.
Yeah, I do, but we're good. It's all right.
Okay. I was just wondering. See, she both her and her husband work at the prison, one of the Utah State prisons.
Oh no!
I'm wondering if
I'm wondering. Got a gazillion ghost stories.
Well, in fact, our son and our son-in-law are both working there too. Yeah, as COs. But her husband has been the electrician and CO, right? Isn't that what he has done in prison?
Yeah, he is a CO. He worked in security electronics. He installed and maintained all their security systems for 16 years, and then he went back inside a couple years ago, so he's an officer again. But yeah.
So what has he experienced? Has he worked graveyards? I've heard that prisons are just loaded with stuff.
I guarantee they are, but you wouldn't. Jay doesn't buy it, doesn't believe it, doesn't. So he'll see things and be like, "Well, that was weird," and that's it. He puts no more thought into it. He's like, "Yeah, yeah." We align as much on that as we do on politics. There's certain things we don't discuss in our house, and those are two of them.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I was just curious, and I hadn't even thought about that. But I've been thinking, I don't think Tyler and Mark have been there long enough to really have anything happen yet. But
I've never really heard of much going on. As far as like the one here in Gunnison, I've never heard.
It's kind of newer.
It's newer. I know the one in Draper that they just tore down. I guarantee there was some super interesting stuff going on there.
I'm sure there was.
Yeah, especially in the old UNA sections and that were built in the 40s, 50s, whatever. So. But yeah.
Have you ever noticed when you've been there? Have you noticed anything? I'm just curious.
I haven't. I haven't ever noticed much. I mean, it's more of a vibe from some of the people there rather than, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure
the place itself.
There's probably a lot of people there that have attachments.
Let me tell y'all a good channel that I've been watching here the last 3 or 4 days. And this guy has got some of the absolute best videos I've ever seen on hauntings.
Ooh.
Plus, he also teaches about it. You know,
who is it?
His name is Dark Knight on YouTube. Dark Knight. I bet Steve's watching me because me and Steve, we always kind of wind up watching the same videos.
Yeah.
He's got fantastic videos. If you watch that and you still don't believe, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, my goodness, this scared the pants off of you.
Wow.
I've seen some good videos, but the ones I watched are just absolutely outstanding. I mean, they show what's happening.
Wow.
Not one
I'll
of them. Some are better than others, but I've never seen anything like he showed. It's great.
Yeah, I am kind of jaded now, kind of callous to, I used to get terrified of things. I don't get scared anymore. But once in a while, I'll be watching ghost videos. Once in a while, I will come across one that'll go, make you jump. But it doesn't happen very often. So I'm excited to check this out and see what it's like.
Because what he's doing is he's trying to, teach people about, the other side. And he knows there's people that don't believe, but that's what he's trying to do, is put the best evidence out there that he can. And if you still don't believe, well, you're not going to be able to get your mind changed, but I ain't kidding. It's the best channel I've ever watched as far as the, that goes.
Is it night as in N-I-G-H-T or is it K-N-I-G-H-T? Which night is it? Okay.
I put the link in the chat just now, but it's
okay.
Project Dark Night Horrors.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You got a hell of a good channel. I ain't kidding. I love it, so.
Cool. I haven't heard of it yet, so.
And that's funny that Ronnie said that because it's so true that, like the Nick Johnson story, I found Nick's channel. I just happened to come across it and I'm watching it. Ronnie did the same thing, and then we were backstage one day before a show, and I was like, dude, I was watching his channel, and Ronnie's like, I watched something similar, but I don't remember the guy's name. And I'm like, I don't remember the guy's name. And he's like, yeah, was it like Nick or something? I'm like, yeah. And so it's like, we just happened to have been watching the same channel and same videos at the same time.
Yeah.
And had no idea.
That's happened 2 or 3 times.
But yeah.
We had talked.
That happens with me and people that I know when we're working on something. We end up watching, things that aren't related. We end up watching the same stuff. It's kind of funny. We have the same wavelength or something.
Yeah, it's amazing how it works. I was stunned when Steve told me he'd been watching that same guy. I said, well, son of a
Right.
Wow.
So real quick, Aloha Southern Sonar Ground. Yeah, Dave's good. They had another death in the family, so he just got some personal things going on, but he's good.
Was it his mom?
No, family member down in Florida, so they're being in Michigan and the back and forth and the kids and the grandkids and just he's got a handful. So
this video you're watching here, Steve, that's a good video, but I have, and he had questions too if it was fake or not. He don't know on some of them, but that one kind of looked like it was fake. But most of them he shows, you can see they're real. There's no doubt. So, and there's one. It's called, and I think this guy's on YouTube too. But his name is the name of his channel is Zark, Z-A-R-K, Zark Scary Haunting. Boy, I'm telling you what, if you watch that guy and the haunting he's got in his house, literally shows the ghost pushing a little scooter down his hallway toward his bedroom, and then the kitchen is right before you get to this guy's bedroom. Well, the ghost lets the scooter go and walks into the kitchen. You can see him walking into the kitchen.
Wow.
And
wow.
There's a whole lot more to it than that, though. I mean, this guy was put through hell by that ghost. He's moved out of that apartment, and no one knows, if the ghost followed him or not. But what happened? They had a maid, and something happened with the maid that I didn't quite catch. But the maid put a hex on him.
Oh no!
Yeah, and sent this demon into his house. That's it right there. I do believe.
Wow. This one was tight because I noticed this because it said sleep paralysis. I was like, we were just talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
This guy. You got to watch this one. This is an amazing haunting to me, and It's the right one. It looks like it there, but I'm not sure. Does it say Zark Scary Haunting, Steve, or does it say anything? Yeah, that's him right there.
Yeah, it is Ark's channel. Yep.
Wow, I'm gonna check that out. That's.
He gets beat up by the ghost. When you can see him, he gets pushed real hard. Backwards. You can see it.
Oh yeah, you just seen the blanket move, and he was like,
"Wow,
this guy."
I didn't notice that. Look, watch the blanket by his left leg. You see it move like that?
Yeah.
This guy was put through hell. I'm telling you, him and his whole family. They got a little boy.
Oh no!
I felt so bad for this guy. It's pathetic. I mean,
wow.
You just have to watch it to understand what I'm talking about. It'll scare your pants off.
Speaking of, Ronnie did. You were here earlier, but I'm almost done with that. My follow-up video for the homeless in Hawaii.
Okay.
But when I was editing, I showed this earlier, but let me see. I gotta find it again real quick. But there was these two dogs, and I don't know. It's just the craziest thing to me.
Two dogs.
Yeah, there's a black dog and a tan dog. And then the black dog on the tan dog, and then the tan dog just does like this backflip, and it's like
somebody lifts it up and pushes it over.
Right. Yeah, because there's here it is. Okay, so let's see. Oh shoot, I just hit the wrong button. Sorry.
So you got so many windows open, you don't know which one is showing.
I know, I do. It's like, man. Here we go. Sorry, I'm gonna put it back in 0.25 playback speed. So watch this black dog, and he puts his paw on the tan dog, but barely, and then takes his paw off. But then watch the tan dog, and then that tan dog just does like this whoop, like he gets pushed. What is that?
It could very well be a ghost. Who knows? I mean, might not be nothing, but it could very well be a ghost too.
They hate him. Figure out.
The guy
There's no way he barely touched him with his paw and the leash with his paw. There's no way that touching him that lightly would do that.
I wonder if the black dog was touching him because it could see something was there.
Could be.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, could be.
Because I know animals can see a lot more than we can.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, like I said, Pablo was sitting there. Pablo was sitting there a month ago just looking at something and barked, and I was like, what? But yeah, maybe he was like, hey, heads up. And then whatever was there was just like kicked him or something. Because that's what it looks like. It looked like someone just like, boom, punted him.
Yeah, poor thing.
It does. It does look that way. It definitely looks that way. Or that's
that
what
dog was super cool.
Miriam, my sister, she's the biggest animal lover. Doing hunter.
No, me too. That's like
dogs. You should see Steve's dog, Pablo. What a sweetheart. That is a cool dog. That dog can jump up in the air and grab a bird out of the air like a cat can. That's cool.
I still wish I would have got that on video. That was the coolest thing ever. This guy jumped up in midair.
Hello, Pablo. Hi, sweetheart.
Don't y'all think he looks like Steve? Him and Steve look alike? I think they do.
I don't know. Make Pablo smile.
And he loves his daddy too. What a good boy.
Yeah. No doubt. He definitely loves Steve.
Yeah, he just crop dusted me 10 minutes ago. He was laying by my feet, and then he farted, and then he just took off.
He was sharing his smells with you.
Yeah.
Love me sitting here with the smile. Like, really, Pablo? Come on, man.
Man. I remember your house and Diesel at one time. Oh man, my sister used to have this a big old Great Dane Diesel. What a good dog! But he could crop dust.
Oh my god. He would, yeah. It would be so bad. He'd be sound asleep. He'd fart. He would wake himself up, and he'd get up and move across the room, and he'd go back to sleep.
Well, stunk too bad. He
Oh my god, horrible.
But there's these people that moved in down the street, and they have 3 Great Danes. And the other day they got out, and they aren't. They're not street smart at all. And they came down this way, towards my house, and my neighbor crossed the street, and I were both out, and we saw them. And we knew where they went, so we got out and tried to round them up. But what sweet boys! But you could tell this is a state road, that we live on. People are going here all the time, and I was so worried. And every time a truck or something would drive by too, we're out there trying to corral them up, and they would freak out. And I was just so glad they didn't get hit, but. I was thinking a Diesel, 3 of them.
Yeah,
and I'd run by their house every day, and I think a Diesel all the time. He passed away, darn it.
Hello, Mr. Charlie. How you doing tonight, brother? Good to see you, Charlie.
Yeah, aloha, Charlie. Always good to see you, brother.
My sister doesn't know Charlie. He's a musician.
Okay.
And a
does
very
some good
man.
stuff.
Yeah. Mr. Charlie, to me, he became a friend when me and Steve had him on there 2 times. I think he's a great guy.
Yeah, he is absolutely a great guy. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. Just down to earth, kind, loving, caring, selfless, just
and a good musician.
Great human being and an amazing musician.
He don't sing, he sings.
Yeah, he sings. He sings.
Your sister never heard me sing. You know what the hell I'm talking about.
They used to do karaoke a lot on their channels, and so we've heard each other sing.
Speaking of, that's funny. The karaoke. Just this morning, I got a copyright claim for a live stream karaoke we did 1.5 years ago.
Oh, good heavens!
So 1.5 years later, I get and I'm like, what I get? I'm like, I didn't even do a live yesterday. What? And then I looked, and I'm like, karaoke. When was this? And it was from 1.5 years ago.
Good grief!
Was it me and you, or you and what's his name?
I think it was Deeds. I think it was titled Steve Harloha in Deedsville or something. But I never even went and looked because I'm like, 1.5 years ago, you're really gonna whoever's
silly
claim, like you're really gonna that was 1.5 years ago. I'm gonna you can't use my music.
I know that's what they did to me when they took down both my channels at one time. They went back, and it didn't have to go very far back because my channels are always pretty new, So they went back and found enough and took down both of them at one time. So it don't surprise me.
Ronnie's gone through so many channels, Miriam. Well, the stuff he posts, that the stuff he posts is right on target because they don't want it on. They don't want it on here.
They don't like the truth. They don't like the truth.
Sure don't. They don't even like you talking about the truth. Let's tell them it.
If Ronnie never lost his first channel, he'd be well over 10,000 subscribers, easy.
Yep, he would.
I like to think that, but I don't know if it's true or not.
No, the stuff you post is awesome, and you would if they didn't keep sticking it to you. You would. You'd have a huge following. You really would.
I've been bad here lately. I know that I hadn't done hardly any research or anything in the last probably 2 months, because of my health. But if I ever get well enough, I'll definitely go back to doing it. I hate not doing it.
The weird thing, though, how they do that to you, Ronnie, is because you were never monetized.
Yeah.
So what the hell's their problem? The
truth. That's the problem. It's just the truth.
Well, it is. That's how true everything he's posting is, because they do not want it up.
Yes, when you're given strikes like that, you know, beyond a doubt, you're over the target, smack over the target, or they would not do that. I mean, they don't care if you're talking about stuff, that don't make a hill of beans. They care about you talking about stuff that they know is true, but they don't want other people. That's exactly what it is.
They know it's true, but it doesn't fit their narrative. So, how dare you?
It definitely don't fit their narrative. Their narrative is to keep us all in the dark about everything for as long as they can, and that's what they're going to do to the best of their ability for as long as they can do it. And my job is to, I feel, is to out them.
Is to be the stubborn men that we are and put your foot down and be like, not on my watch, mofo.
Exactly. And tell the truth.
These guys are the best, Miriam. These two men mean so much to me. These guys are just. I don't know how I even found your channel, but I wouldn't have a channel if it wasn't for you two.
I believe that because you didn't have one before we started having you on, and we enjoyed you and Coach very much, Well, until certain people started getting rude about everything and, nasty and all that. And then it was time to end, but there's always good people in that.
Yeah, we had some great
about sex and just talking about nothing gross, just talking about facts and how our bodies work. But it didn't go over well.
Well, the first two, maybe three went awesome, and halfway through the third one or the fourth one, then it just turned into like, whoa, too much testosterone. What the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing about that, that's weird that this just came up too, because this morning I watched one of those like you laugh, you lose type videos, and the dude's watching the videos and then he comments after each video. But there was like 3 or 4 videos that each one was like had the word raw dog in it, and then the guy's channel talking, he was like, What's the deal with this raw dog stuff? And I was like, I was trying to bring that word back like a little over a year ago, and now all of a sudden now it's back. But yeah, remember that we named
I think you might have made for Steve. That flag is from the top left hand corner. It says raw dog.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, we had a slam bang time one night on there. I don't even know how the name came about now, but everybody started calling me Raw Dog.
Yeah. But then a lot of people got mad and offended by it too, and it's like, there's a dog food called Raw Dog, so that's you. That's all on you. Your mind went that route.
Went there, exactly.
A lot of people still call me that, but they don't sit on the flag. They just, know it from us talking that night. Particularly Samoan Watchman. Oh, man. Oh, him and Monty. Guys are something else.
I haven't seen either of them for a while. Have you?
Monty was in our show last week, I think. Last Sunday.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, but...
And then Samoan Watchman, David, he just put a video out a couple days ago. For his trip in Hawaii.
Oh, I better.
So David's still around, but
and I see him every once in a while. When I'm up late, I can catch him for a while. But he comes on so late when he does come on that I can't stay up and watch the whole thing. Because I'm tired. I'm amazed that I stayed up long enough to catch him come on. But they're both great guys, Monty and Samoan. Mm-hmm. They really are. We had Monty on one night with us, and who was that on with us? Who was that? Dang, I don't remember now. But Monty was making his faces, and everything. First time I'd been on with Monty, and boy, he was cracking me up so I couldn't handle it. I was laughing so hard. I kept having to mute, and turn my camera off because I didn't want.
I remember that. I just can't remember who was on, but I remember that. Who was that?
He was drunk, whoever it was. I know that, you know.
Yeah, but Monty, I forgot about that till just now. But Monty kept doing this like
crazy face.
Was it the guy? Oh, I can't think of his name now. The guy with the long hair that gets really. Okay, I can't think. You know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name, but
I can't think his name either. The guy that, in my opinion, can't. I mean, he's a singer now. I sing, but he's worse than me. It's what I'm thinking about. That's bad. You know what I'm talking about, Steve?
Player, not a singer.
The long-haired guy, gruff voice. What is his darn name?
I know.
I can't remember.
Bugging me. I know who he is. I mean, I've been on panels with him a couple of times, and
yeah, he's a cool guy. I mean, I like him and all, but he just can't sing. I mean,
he has too much whiskey. It goes a little wonky. Too much whiskey is not good.
He came into my stream here about a month or two ago, and asked me to come on his show with him the next night or two later. I said, sure, I'll come on for a while. I asked him what time to come on, so he told me. And I went over there, you know, because I told him I'd go on, so I was going to. So I went over to his show, and he was on about 2 minutes and gone. How the hell is anybody supposed to come on with you? You're here 2 minutes and you leave. You know? I was going to, you know, be good for my word, but he wasn't there, and I hadn't seen him since. What the hell is his name? It bugs me.
I can't even. I want to know now too.
He usually does stuff on Wednesday nights, and
yeah,
I can't. Yeah, now it's bugging me.
Well, he was the guy. Like I say, he had real long hair, the gruff voice, and he's always drinking, always. You know, and cussing. You had to mute him a few times and warn him a few times because he was cussing so much and using all that vulgar language. Not just, you know, the cussing, but how he was using it. And so you muted him several times and warned him. And he finally quit.
Oh, wait. I got it.
Not slap
Boltonator.
Boltonator.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay. Crazy. Okay, yeah, Boltonator. Yeah, once he started drinking, it was just like, I dropped him backstage a few times. It's like, dude, this guy just won. You mute him, but he don't mute himself. And it's like, no, shut up.
But hey, he wasn't there as bad as the other guy, Slap Ham. What was his name? Slap Bacon or?
Slapped Ham, yeah.
It wasn't Slap Bacon or something. What the hell was it?
No, hot damn bacon.
Yeah.
It's actually the GD, but I don't say that. So, but yeah, hot. Replace that with, but then hot damn bacon. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that guy didn't listen. That guy was just waiting for you to stop. And he wouldn't even wait for you to stop talking half the time. He'd just start talking and not stop.
Yeah, he said 1,000 times, well, I got to do my laundry, and I'll be going. I got to do my laundry. And I'll be damned, he never left one time. He said he had to cook me something to eat. Said, I got to cook you something to eat, so I'm leaving. Never cook. Well, he might have been cooking, but he was still talking. I mean, the guy, man, I never seen anybody talk like that. He would not shut up. He absolutely loved him.
Dude, he'd be like, all right, I got to go this time. I got to do laundry. And then like an hour would go by and he'd still be like, all right, I got to go this time. I got to do laundry. Like, we're not stopping you.
Go on.
Yep, I remember that. So Southern Grown says he's a member of my channel and is wild.
Yeah, he is.
Well, it's almost midnight here. I've got to get up at 6 for a run, so I really got to go to bed.
We're going
I'm gonna
go.
3 hour mark, so that worked out good because we got to have Ronnie up and hear his story, which was awesome, and we got to hear both of you guys' story. And once I get my homeless in Hawaii video out, hopefully tomorrow, if not Saturday, I'm going to be making shorts out of today's.
Oh, cool! So, I love your shorts.
You do? You better not tell Coach that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that, Heather. I just had to say it.
Oh goodness.
Oh wait, what's that? Please play it. Oh, the video you put. Oh, it's a short. Oh, unstuffed cabbage rolls. This one. This is the one that you shared. What is this?
Who shared it?
Southern Sewn and Grown.
Oh, I was like, I did. I don't remember. Cabbage rolls, that's good stuff.
Yeah, my grandpa Stash used to make stuffed cabbage and.
I love it. It's wonderful.
I've made that a few times. It is pretty tasty.
That's good stuff.
Well, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get on off here and let y'all do your thing, whatever that thing might be. Thank you, Steve.
Right on. Yeah, we're gonna close out, but when we close out, Randy, I'll let you go first since you're gonna get going too. But we gotta do final thoughts.
Me?
All of us, yeah, we're all gonna do final thoughts.
Who you want to go?
Give advice for all the awesome people in chat.
All right. Well, yeah. Who wants to go first? I don't know who's going first. Y'all go ahead.
Well, I can't go first.
I gotta go to bed. So I'm just gonna
say I'm gonna.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you to my sister for coming on with me, and thank you, Steve, for having us up, and thank you, Ronnie, for coming on, because some of my favorite people are right here and in the chat. So and thank you, Ed, for. I'll make you mod later this weekend. I go on my on Ashley Autumn channel.
Heather won't even make me a mod.
I think Ed's mad at me. I'm not sure, but
she'll be mods. If my sister comes on, she'll be a mod too. But
okay.
I'm just playing with you. I may be a mod. I don't know. It's been so long since I've been on your channel. I don't remember.
I know it's been a long time since I did anything.
I just want to tell you guys something. That my speech is messed up because this thing up here. And sometimes my words don't come out right. So if y'all notice that, chat or anybody, I'm sorry. It's the tumor up here that I can't help it. You know, it's just something it does.
I haven't noticed anything at all.
I was gonna say I don't even notice it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I try to hide it the best I can, but you know, sometimes I can't. So I just want y'all to know, you know, so you won't think I'm acting stupid or something. But that's what's doing it. But anyway, you know, I love you guys. I want y'all to know that. Chat, thank y'all for hanging out with us. And I'm gonna go to bed. And Steve, see you Sunday. I told everybody on my channel, you know, to join us Sunday.
Right on. Yeah, and we might be having another comedian. I don't know if I haven't heard back yet if he's available on Thursday or Sunday. But shoot, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but I'll tell you about it later. But I'm looking forward to hearing back from him. Hopefully tomorrow. But
I just want you to know that if I'm able, I'll definitely be there. If I can't be there, well, I can't, you know, because of the situation here. But
yeah,
I definitely want to be.
Right. No, I completely understand, man.
It's never because I don't want to be. That's for sure. It's been a hell of a hard trip, you know, for me. And I know some of it's bled over to you, you know, because of me being sick and stuff. And I apologize for it, man. But you know, there ain't nothing I can do about it.
Nothing to apologize for.
Don't worry. Yeah, don't apologize. Don't worry. We understand. We're just glad when we can see you. You're really. You are loved, Ronnie.
I think I am, and I think you're absolutely right, Heather. You know, that's why I love the people on my channel so much. They all support me. They all, you know, pray for them. They had a prayer group going tonight, which, man, I appreciate from the bottom of my heart.
Cool.
I mean, I really appreciate it. But you know, Steve's my brother. I love Steve, and when I can't show up, it makes me feel guilty as crap, you know.
Don't do that.
Don't. Hey, man, if I can't show up, I don't feel guilty. I don't give a shit. No, but seriously, don't feel guilty, man. You know I love you, Joe. You know you're my brother, and it's all good, dude.
I do, because most of the time what I do, and it's probably a mistake on my part, is I wait so late, to let him know, because I'm hoping I'll get to feeling better so I can come on. I don't want to say, hey, man, I can't make it today, and then I get to feeling better, and I come on and say, oh, I thought you couldn't come on.
Right.
So I always
Don't
wait.
worry about it. Like I said, I completely understand, so yeah, no need to feel guilty or apologize or anything, man.
All right. Well, I just wanted you to know. I do love you, Steve, Heather. Very nice to meet you, Miriam.
You too. Good to meet you.
You guys have a great night, and I'll see you Sunday, Steve. And I hope, Heather, you and Miriam will be in the chat or whatever, Come say hello. Everybody in chat, I hope y'all be there too. And I know most of you.
I will.
So anyway, good night, guys. Y'all have a great one.
Yeah.
Good night, brother Ronnie. I love you, man.
Thank you, everybody.
And and Miriam and Heather, thank you guys for coming up. This was awesome. I was looking forward
thanks for
to
having
it,
me.
all week. It's awesome. So thank you, and thank you everyone in chat, everyone that showed up, everyone that hit the like button, especially everyone that hit the like button. You guys are extra cool. And and like Ronnie just said, Sunday will be 1:30 my time, but what is that, like 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern on my channel this week. And until then, just I'll say what I always say. At the end of the day, we all have more in common than we don't. So don't focus on the little petty shit that we don't have in common. Look at all the good things that we do have in common. And when you do that, you realize we can all get along. Doesn't matter what beliefs you have that someone else doesn't have. It's just a waste of time and a waste of energy. So spread the love, spread the kindness, spread all of it. What goes around comes around, and good always wins over evil. So with that being said, have a beautiful morning, beautiful day, beautiful afternoon, a beautiful evening, a beautiful night, whatever it may be, wherever you are. Much love, much aloha. Most importantly, God bless.
I'm done. Oh, I'm sorry. I just died. I can't breathe. Steve, I swear to you, I haven't laughed that hard in like 10 years.
How's everybody doing now?
Oh,
Armageddon.
No.
Armageddon. It's gonna be rough.
You were born in America, you're an American.
That's that. Just right after high school, ended up joining the Army.
You guys seem way more chill than that intro. I'm ready to take your fucking country back. I don't even live there.
Dude, we should get a boxing match going.
Smack the shit out.
That sounded wrong. I have to highlight that one. Oh my lord.
Stay the hell out of the left lane if you're not passing.
You're so salty about this driver.
Finally, a law that I can get behind. If you're driving slow in the left lane, it's punishable by death.
You don't have to have a massive channel to make an impact,
Steve, you smoke like a girl.
They're always there watching.
I do not sound like Jalen.
Do I drop the wheelchair jokes? He's like, just fuck him.
That's what the whole freedom of speech is.
That's a good point.
Everybody gets a lick.
You don't have to agree with it, but you best defend their right to do it.
If you don't know your rights, you don't have any.
We just got a bidet.
The Constitution doesn't give you rights, you have natural rights.
Bidet will change your life.
But the Constitution protects your rights.
You'll never go back.
Little horny bastard. He ruined it for everybody.
I bet he wanted to knock them out. It's never because of their race, identity, religion, or
Teach these government nerds that all swear an oath to it what our freedoms are, because they're so lazy they don't care.
I had a fun night. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
Don't live on the past or take the present for granted and only think about the future.
People are wearing blinders. They don't understand what.
I'm not going to apologize for that.
You were calling him an idiot.
I'm really disappointed in you.
It was something that you just didn't agree on.
I had all my money on you tonight.
I'm guilty of inciting my constitutional right.
If they don't like it, then they don't have to be there. Love y'all. See y'all on the next one.
You're never gonna please everyone.
I don't think that God sees different races at all. Much love to y'all. Stay prayed up, man. God is good. Love each other and be kind.
Much love, much aloha, and most importantly, God bless.
Come again. Out of here.